good afternoon, and get a load of my shirt. Yeah, what do you think? It's cool. It's a cool shirt. I know it's a cool shirt because I said so, and what I say goes. Because it is my stream. So yeah, it does say racer. I did check just in case. Yes, there will always be more Game Boy games until I somehow run out of them, but there are so many, I'm not sure I ever will. Maybe in my personal collection, but so, you know, I've done 5 parts of this series so far, and, you know, that was with the GBA 95-in-1 U95FS or whatever it's called. This time we've got the Color GB 95-in-1, so I assume this one came out earlier. Menu looks a little bit plainer. I don't think Doraemon is on this. No, I don't think it is. There are a bunch of licensed games, or, well, games based on IPs. You'll see what I mean when we get into it. But yeah, I don't think Doraemon is among them. So this shirt does not correspond with the stream. I just wore it because I thought it looked cool. Wait, what says that? Did someone document this cartridge online or something? Because I'm not sure. But anyway, before we get into this particular cartridge, let's take a look at this list that I've got. Because I've ranked 72 games so far, and I just want to review what the games were like on that 95-in-1. It was a very mixed bag. Some of the games on it are very good, including a few of the ones I didn't cover that didn't really fit into the series, such as Super Mario Deluxe and Pokemon Crystal and whatever. Oh, we'll see. Yeah. Okay, so it says Chinese on the bottom. Okay, so that's good to know. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. So this is the bottom 10 as of right now. So this is the bottom 10 we got from playing that other 95-in-1 cartridge. Oh, hold on. Yeah, so we have the Game of Harmony, which was, I guess, kind of like an interesting sort of thing where they maybe tried to take that weird one-player mode from Space Duel and make kind of a puzzle game out of it. But it ended up just being kind of tedious. I don't know. I feel like you could make a decent game out of it, and maybe the computer versions are better. But I wasn't really impressed with the Game Boy version. You've got Versus Battler, which is kind of like a formative, you know, really early attempt at a first-person shooter, sort of, but it didn't really work because the enemies could just instantly teleport away from when you were about to hit them. It's like, oh, you're about to hit them. Nope, they just teleported to the next square and they didn't count. And that kind of made the game far more frustrating than it should be. So, kind of interesting, but just doesn't work. Corrodice is functional, but it runs out of ideas very early on. It's the whole thing, you move the die from one end of the level to the other, try to get it to match the one, and it works. But every level is exactly the same, except they just like add 1 or 2 obstacles on every level to make it slightly more difficult. And yeah, it kind of just loses interest very quickly, I think. Castlevania The Adventure, which has a great soundtrack, but it comes close to being good. That's the most frustrating thing about it. It's frustrating anyway. But it's a game that had potential, but just wasn't realised. It's way too slow. It's like they saw Super Mario Land, decided that the game was too fast, and wanted to compensate. But they overcompensated by making it just comically slow. Castlevania wasn't exactly Sonic the Hedgehog to begin with, and they just made it stupidly slow for this game. If it was the same speed as the original Castlevania, it probably would have been fine. But more importantly, the weapons were just bad. You know, you only had one weapon, which was the whip. You could upgrade it to get like a shot, like a projectile, but it only went forwards, and if you got hit at all, you lost it immediately, which is bollocks, and yeah. Not great. Ooh, Wii stuff, that sounds fun. Not so fun, Master Karateka, which they had something with that idea. You know, let's take Karateka and add a point system so that you could, you know, up your stats. But it was very unbalanced. The speed stat was far more well, it was far more important to update the other stats, because not only did it make you move faster, but it also made your attacks a lot quicker so that you could just machine gun the opponent into submission. You know, just machine gun kick your way to victory. Kind of unbalanced, not great. Combat wasn't very good. I mean, I don't think Karateka necessarily had great combat to begin with. I mean, Prince of Persia, I mean, the platforming was the good part of that game, I feel. Castellion had a cool idea. It was like, okay, we got this awesome graphical effect for the rotation of the tower. Let's make a game out of it. Unfortunately, it was completely ruined by an arbitrary time limit, which had no business being there. And it kind of made it so you had to be flawless to have any chance of finishing the level. Basically, you made one mistake on the level, you just didn't have enough time to finish it. And the levels were kind of evil anyway, so you kind of needed to take your time to have any chance of finishing them, I think. I don't know. Again, it has potential, but it's just ruined by one or two questionable design choices. Palamedes, which is a decent game in other formats, but the Game Boy version is just a bad port. Horrible sound. In fact, I would say the worst sound out of any of these games. And the playfield is just too small. If one of the players managed to move like 2 or 3 lines, it was really hard for the other player to recover. It just kind of lost the sense of balance that the other versions had, and it just doesn't quite work. Amida was kind of the game where they tried to take Amidar and make it into a puzzle game, and it's interesting, but again, it just doesn't work, where the levels are just too small. There's not enough room to position your line thing to get the pachinko ball or whatever it is to move in the right place, and that made it kind of a nightmare to play, unfortunately. NFL football, again, just like Castlevania The Adventure, stupidly slow to the point of tedium, and yeah, it just didn't quite work. I could only tolerate the game for about 5 minutes, which is why it's as low on the list as it is. Also, fun fact, I don't know if you've noticed, but the only company to have multiple games in the bottom 10 is Konami. They are the only company whose early games were that bad, which is really weird. You think of all the companies, Konami would be the last one to be down here twice. Certainly not more than once. But there we go. Castlevania The Adventure and NFL, both pretty bad, but NFL is a lot worse, because Castlevania The Adventure at least has something to it. And Tasmania Story, yeah, this one could just sod off. Just basically bring it back, just a bad, mappy wannabe game, and tying it into a film that it has nothing to do with. A film that no one cared, or watched, I don't think, and just doesn't really work on any level. Terrible character designs, poor sound, hit detection that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, no. That game is at the bottom for a reason, and I suppose there's also a reason why no one wanted to take credit for it. So, yeah. And then going further up the list, I mean, LGN is here, somehow avoiding the bottom 10, but they came pretty close. And yeah, you got the sort of mediocre games down here. In fact, it was kind of funny, I'd say only really the bottom 5 games, I'd say, are true catastrophes. Everyone above that, I'd say there is at least something to them where maybe I can see how someone would like it, but yeah, then you got the games in the middle. I don't think there's a whole lot really to point out with these games. I'm amused by the fact that the middle of this list is Cheeky Cheeky Tengoku and Missile Command. They are the anchors of this list so far. And Bri Fighter Deluxe maybe could have been a bit higher if I didn't have a broken version of it. Not sure. No, probably not actually. But yeah, I mean the games here are, you know, once you get to this top 20, games are quite good, generally. And also right below that, you got that weird Mr. Do port, which would be great, but the music doesn't really evoke Mr. Do at all, and the game itself, I don't know, it just felt a bit off. It's like it moved more like Dig Dug, and you don't want that. Not when you want Mr. Do. Some people want Dig Dug, I want Mr. Do. And this kind of felt somewhere between the two. And, you know, like here, like Dr. Mario, which is a very good puzzle game, but it's not on the level of Tetris or even Solomon's Club. So, I mean, you take a look at this top 10. You have Solomon's Club, fun little variation on Solomon's Key, which is a very good arcade game. Smaller levels, but it's got that shop system, and the levels themselves are quite a bit different. very good game in its own right. Mr. Chin's Gourmet Paradise is kind of a Ninja Jajamaru-kun-like, and also kind of an answer to the question, what if Supervision games were actually good? So yeah, shout out to Romstar for that one. Hong Kong, which is both a puzzle game and Breakout, so it's got to be in the top 10. Battle City, port of the classic Famicom game, so you know that's got to be high. It is the definitive Dendy game, so you know, all-time classic. Pipe Dream, great game, though maybe this is not the best version of it. It probably could have done with a bit more in terms of game modes. That's what I would say about that. Oh. Yeah, probably could have done with more game modes, otherwise very good port. Bomb Jack, which is, again, very good port. I would say the arcade version plays better, just the larger screen kind of helps out, as well as just the fact that it's in full colour. But the Game Boy version is an excellent soundtrack. Minesweeper, very good take on Minesweeper. Let down somewhat by the fact that, okay, so you've got that mission mode, but it's ridiculously hard. So, to get a password, you have to beat 10 levels in a row. And rather than just have the difficulty go up in linear fashion, it just gets gradually harder for the first 10 levels, then it gets easier after level 10. But like, by the time you get to like level 8 or 9, it just becomes crazy hard. And I imagine most people never actually got a password for that legit. Because, yeah, just the difficulty curve doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And I think they realised they fucked up, because soon afterwards they made a PC Engine CD version. And on that version, they gave you a password after every level. So, you know, maybe if they fixed that, it would have been a bit higher. Super Mario Land, great game, a little bit too fast, and the controls aren't quite as refined as the other Mario games that were out at the time, which kind of lets it down a little bit. Still a very good game, personal favourite. Tetris, all-time classic, you know, the killer app for the Game Boy, but a little bit unrefined compared to later takes on Tetris. So, you go back to it now, and it's like, you know, you've got to have the right head-on for it. You've got to be willing to deal with its antiquities, let's say. And Bubble Ghost, which, you know, we got a new #1 on the last stream. Not the game I expected it to be, but Bubble Ghost is the #1 because it has a bubble, and it has a ghost, and it's also the complete package. It's got a great soundtrack, very good character designs, very well thought out levels, very deliberate in its difficulty. It's difficult, but not so hard so that it makes me not want to play through the game. It is a game I would like to finish. And yeah, I think it's also the best version of the game. So, it's going to be a tough one to beat. But anyway, that's enough of my list. We will add more games to this today. Let's take a quick look at this 95-in-1 cartridge. So, you've got Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Yellow. Like, they just changed the one character between these. So, yes, I did check these, and these are all just Pokemon in Chinese. Just the Pokemon games listed here, but they just translated them. I assume they're pirate translations. They could be fan translations, although I kind of doubt it, based on the edits at the beginning of the game. I didn't bother to play much into them because it is literally just Pokemon in Chinese. It's not like an original game or anything. You've got the Rockman games, all of them, as far as I know. Never was a fan of these. I don't know. It just felt too slow, and you could barely clear the jumps. And the stages were like 2 or 3 times as long as the NES games. It's like, I play these, and I just wish I was playing the NES games instead. I don't know. Though, to be fair, while I don't like these games, they are infinitely better than Rockman 8, which is a strong contender for being the worst game to ever be sold for money, as the game's just straight up unplayable. Like, if you shoot a few enemies in a level, often it just causes all of the sprites to despawn, and that includes moving platforms, so you effectively can't finish half the levels because of that. That's the level of quality we're dealing with for that one. And these Game Boy Color ones, I'm not familiar with them. I think I played them for like 5 minutes. You got these Mario games. Of course you have Mario Land 1, which we looked at last time. Mario Land 2 and 3. Mario Land 3 is Wario Land. It has the one Yong game on it. We're not going to look at it because it doesn't fit the series, thankfully. But yeah, Mario Land 3 is Wario Land. Mario Land 4 is a pirate ROM hack of Kureyon Shin-chan 4. I wish I could cover this one. Sadly, it doesn't qualify, and I wish it did. And Mario 7 is a hack of Adventure Island. I don't know which one. It's a hack of one of them. Adventure Island 2 and 3, to my memory, are the exact same game. Like, I literally could not tell you what the difference is. I know there are differences, I don't know what they are. But it's like, okay, Adventure Island 1 is the really hard one. Adventure Island 4 is like the more Metroidvania-esque one. And then the second and third games are identical, as far as I'm aware. And I've played both of them, and I can't tell the difference. It's like trying to tell the difference between Jedward. It's like, does it really matter which one's which? Wario's Blast. So that's the Bomberman game where they stuck Wario in it. And then all these other games, we've either seen them already, or we will be seeing them today. And some of these I do want to take a look at, like the ones that we've seen already. They are worth looking at. Because in some cases they're modified ROMs of games that we've looked at before. Because the other 95 and 1, the games were all unaltered. With the possible exception of Burai Fighter, where I think they might have been using a bad ROM. Because that one boss fight, I just kept dying at random points. And I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen usually. So I think it was just a bad ROM. But, yeah, I mean, of course, games like Dr. Mario and Tennis, we've seen those already. And then something like Pikachu Land, which we will see today. And, yeah. But yeah, just like the other cartridge, there are 95 games, although the other cartridge I looked at had 95 different games. There are like 2 or 3 cases where you get the same game, but just a different version of it. So let's take a look at that in action. So, where is it? Yeah, so for instance, you have Castellian. Let's see what Castellian looks like on Game Boy. So I think they might have modified this a bit. Does this originally say licensed by Nintendo? I don't remember. But yeah. So, you remember this... you may remember this game from one of the other streams I did. Not very good. Like I say, it has potential, but it just doesn't quite work. Yeah. So, like, okay, I'm gonna try to go up this tower. Hooray, I can do this. And then the ball comes to try to kill me. You can't shoot the bright coloured one because it's indestructible, because the game's like that. And that's like, ooh, I'm gonna go up here. Then I'm gonna make it. Oh. Oh wow, I'm actually doing a little better on this one. This is the part where I die. Yeah, see, often the game just pulls, like, nonsense like that. It's like, no, we're just gonna kill you for no reason because the game designer was a bastard. But yeah, I'll leave that as it is. Again, like I say, a game that had potential, but just... maybe if they got rid of the time limit, it would have been good. And apparently there's a cheat code to get rid of the time limit, but I couldn't get it to work. So, where is the other one I'm looking for? Ah, here we go. So yes, Kyo-chan Land High. So if we take a look at this game, see what this is. Yeah, so this is Kyoro-chan Land, where they took out the copyright info. So if we go into this one, yeah, it's the exact same game, but with a different character. So they replaced the Castellian pig with a mascot for Choco Balls in Japan. I've actually tried the Kyoro Choco Balls, whatever they're called. They're okay. It's not worth going out of your way to get them, I would say. I don't know. They are entirely fine, but this game is not. But yeah, like I say, we only have the one Young Gun game. I'm not playing it. You can't make me. I'm playing enough games today as it is. And I'm just going to say that those games are going to eat up all the time, so I won't have to play Rockman 8. I'll show it for like 2 seconds just to say I did it. Yep, it's this game. You want to talk about the worst game ever made? This is a pretty good contender for it. Though honestly, the Sonic bootleg is probably still worse. Which will tell you just how bad that one is. I'm not playing it for more than 2 seconds. Fuck that. Okay, I have rights. Human rights. And I feel like they're being tested by playing young games. What else is there? Oh yeah, Bugs Bunny. So if we take a look at Bugs Bunny, for instance. Here we go. Yep, a green Bugs Bunny at that. So you might remember that I played a game called Mickey Mouse. And this is the exact same game, except now it has Bugs Bunny in it. Because that's just how these Crazy Castle games worked. I think the box art for this game does call it Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle. But for some reason, the title screen, I guess they couldn't fit the whole title on there, which is a bit odd. Because they could fit it on there for the NES version, though I suppose they had a bigger screen for that one. But yeah, so as far as I know, this is the exact same game, except they changed the graphics a bit. And like I said, I mean, the game itself is fine. There are better games like it, let's say. I guess Marvin the Bunny. I was going to say Bunny Dodgers, but that doesn't really work. In the 21st century? Well, no, that's Buck Rogers, isn't it? The 24th and a half century. But yeah. So, what I just want to do here, before we get into ranking these games proper, I just want to show off some of the other stuff on this cartridge. Variations of games we've seen. So, let's see what else we've got. So, Bugs Bunny. I'm not sure if there's a whole lot more to show. I mean, because like I say, some of the games on here, they're alternate versions of games we've seen. And, yeah. The majority of the games are games that we've seen previously. Like, most of the games from Balloon Man onwards, or shall I say, Balloon Man onwards, are games that we've seen before. So, you know, Balloon Man, Chike, and Neo Racer, Serpent Collar. Yeah, we've seen all these games before. But if you take a look at Sokoban... Oh, okay, I didn't mean to use that colour palette, but I guess we'll do that. Yeah, so here's Sokoban. I just want this had some animation at the beginning. Yeah, as you probably guessed, this is the Japanese version of Boxel. I'm not sure if there's really much different about it, but we'll see. But you may have noticed that they removed the copyright information on some of these games, which wasn't the case on the other cartridge. I don't know. Not sure what's going on there, because these cartridges, as far as I can tell, seem to be made by the same people. So, yeah, I don't know if maybe later on they sourced a set of unmodified ROMs and decided to go with those instead of what was being used on this. Because I suspect this cartridge was released earlier. For one thing, it says Color GB instead of GBA, which implies this one was out first. And also just the fact that, yeah, like, they're just using strange ROMs for some of these games. Yeah, this one doesn't have the yeah, which is unfortunate. In fact, it is kind of funny. A few of these games, they're using the Japanese versions, where the other one has the English versions. For instance, if we go to Sokoban 2, which is kind of the same situation. Let's put it in black and white. Ah, this is the one with the animation. Yep, again, they removed the copyright info. Just really weird that they didn't do that on the later one. Whatever. Also, I think the songs have actual names in this one, as opposed to just songs A through C. I should have picked song B, but I did not. Also, yeah, there's the UFO. Because yes. Because box pushing saves you from UFOs? I don't know. But, yeah. Otherwise, it is the same game. Aside from the fact that it's lacking the yeah voice sample, which is a problem. You know, makes it the inferior version. If we were ranking the Japanese version, it'd probably be a few spots lower. But yeah, so I think a few of these are the same, but if you look at DMG-KMJ... Yeah, so this is the Japanese version of Serpent. Again, they've taken out the copyright information. Do level 3, just because. But yeah, you may remember this from when I played the English language version of it. Not that it matters, other than the logo, it's basically the exact same game, I think. Oh, wait, what's it doing? Wait, how does that work? It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna warp, because I can do that somehow. Oh, I did it. Okay. There we go. I will take my victory and run with it. Anyway. So that's DMG-KMJ. I don't know where they got that name from. Maybe that was like the code they had on the cartridge and had no idea how to translate the actual game title. Also, occasionally the music glitches out in the menu. This is also from Last Bible 3, which is the same music or the same game they got the music from for the other cartridge. So it's a very similar menu, but different song. The colours on the menu are plainer. Yeah, it looks a little bit less refined overall. But yeah, so you got Drop Zone, Poke Mission. Was that... What was Poke Mission? I've already forgotten what that is. It was a homebrew game. But there are a few games here that we have not yet ranked, such as Ishido Jpn Version. We will be seeing that today. But then, like, on the other cartridge we have Missile Command. But on this one we have Missile Command. Yeah, the classic. What else is that? Oh yeah, Puzzle Road. Yeah, so Puzzle Road. What's that line on the bottom? Is that just a bunch of ends? I think they may have edited that. Also, yeah, I forgot the wizard man. Wizard-looking man. He may not actually be a wizard. He may be a false wizard. To try to fool me. But yes, Puzzle Road, aka whatever it was called, Dead Alien. That was it. Yeah, so it's the same game but with a less interesting title. No, it's not Puzzle Road, it's Dead Alien. Can't forget that. It's essential that you absorb that information. Yes. Shunt! What does that stand for? I'm not even going to hazard a guess. I'm just going to push A to exit back to the main menu. Which I did. Okay, so it originally said licensed by Nintendo. Yeah, whoever made this multicart had it out for Nintendo, apparently. Just taking out all the credit to them. Just, Oh, actually, you know what? That reminds me of, Let me find it. Have you ever seen this? Oh. If it wants to load, which apparently it does not. No! You will load this image and you will like it. No, it's just being a bastard. It basically, it's like a pirate hack of like that one Tecmo football game. And it says, licensed by Come back when you're a little richer. I had to do that after you said it. Yeah, I think most of these are the same as what we've seen before. I mean, Migrator Clay, as opposed to Migrator Claim, that was on the other cartridge. I have seen multicarts with Brainbender, but I don't have one of those, I don't think. Or maybe we'll come across it on one of the other cartridges at some point. The Game of Harmo. Great. Oh yeah, Puzzle Boy. Here we go. We need all the ends. Yeah, here we go. Puzzle Boy. If you remember Quirk, this is the non-radicalized version of him. Actually, is that Quirk? Doesn't look like no boy has eyelashes that well defined. Yeah, there are so many ends on these. But yeah, so it's Quirk, but in Japanese. Again, why you would just play that if you could play the English version, I don't know. Unless you happen to be more fluent in Japanese. Maybe, but I'm not sure there's really much incentive to do that otherwise. What else is worth showing? Yeah, because I think these are mostly ones we've seen already. You know what, let's show off the version of Tetris on this. Watch this. Yeah, copyright 1989. The entire year copyrighted Tetris, apparently. I love like they copyrighted or they credited everyone except for Nintendo. You know what time it is. I mean, I've already done this on the Switch Online service, but let's just do it. Oh. Okay. You know what? Let's try it again. Because I feel like it. Yeah, just to spite everyone watching this stream, I'm gonna just do this. No, I don't think it's gonna happen. Playing this with the analog stick is not ideal. Also, I'm not sure you can move the pieces fast enough anyway. Yes. From the year 1989, copyrighted to the year 1989, it's Tetris. Actually, before we go into the games proper, I do want to show off Bomb Jack on this. You'll see why when we get into it. Watch this. Yep. Not sure what they did with the text on the bottom. They kind of messed up a little bit. A couple of glitchy characters, and then just says start game twice. No. Yeah, I got to hear that in-game music a little bit. There's no fast setting. I did get further in this when I was playing this on my own time. Yeah. Anyway, I think they'll do for now. Let's go to the wheel. Yes, we've got 14 games on the wheel today. As in games that we have not seen yet. That we want to play. Oh yes, Bomb Jack. Do you think Bomb Jack would get on well with Morshoe? Maybe Bomb Jack is Morshoe's bomb dealer, and that's why he's collecting all the bombs. Or maybe it's just diffusing them, and then selling them off to Morshoe. But yes, these are the 14 games that we have for today. I don't know why it's gone so small. Why is the wheel this small? Like, what happened? Just being weird. Hold on, let me reload this, see if I can fix it. No, the wheel's just gone strange. Why is it so small? I do not want the wheel to be this small, but I guess we'll live with it. Yeah, here we go. That's better. That will do. So yes, your games for today are Ranma 1/2, Rubble Saver II, Lupin the Third, Zoids J1, Kid Niki, Pac-Man, Ishido Japanese version, Koiwa Kakehiki, Mogura de Pon, Dungeon Escape, minus Trump Boy, yeah, minus sounds about right, Mario and Yoshi, and Pikachu Land, and Kureyon Shin 6. J1, Ronnie. I am more than one. One is not my lucky number, because it's a very small number. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can do all of these games today. And we're going to start off with Ranma 1/2. Or however you're supposed to say that. Ranma Nibunichi? Is that how they say it usually? Yeah, there's a lot of anime games on this cartridge for some reason. I'm not sure if that was a conscious decision, though. Because if you look on the first page, it's mostly Pokemon, Mega Man, and Mario. Well, it's not even really... In fact, none of these are really Mario games. Mario 3 is Wario Land, which is a separate series. Mario Land 4 is a ROM hack of Prey and Shin-chan 4. Mario Land 7 is a ROM hack of one of the Adventure Island games. So really, none of these are Mario games. These are the only two actual Mario... Well, I suppose a couple of the spin-offs are on here as well. But, yeah, Ranma 1/2. Let's do it. Okay. So I have no memory of what this game is, and indeed a couple of the other ones. I have no memory of what Ranma 1/2 is on the Game Boy. Let's see. Oh, is this a... Oh, no, it went to the demo right as I pressed start. Okay, what is that? Wait, is this... No, this can't be a Mendel Palace, surely. 1/2. You got 1/2 of the word of the title. So what is this? Is that both of the Ranmas? It's like boy Ranma and girl Ranma or whatever. I don't know, I've never seen it. Okay, what is this? Okay, I do not remember what this game is, I gotta be honest. Okay, so I turned into girl Ranma, I guess. How that affects the game, I don't know. Okay, has anyone actually played this game? I don't remember how this one works. Just like booby kids, just like push blocks around. No. Okay, so that's... Yeah, that's the panda. That's like the dad, isn't it? Like Ranma's dad, who's a panda sometimes. Because it's like something about... Not a waterfall, it's like water something or other. Wait, is it Pengo? Is this supposed to be Pengo? Oh wait, I matched blocks? What? Okay, this is strange. I'm confused. Ha! Oh. So I guess I'm just matching whatever those things are together, and then maybe I win. Okay, I'm gonna collect myself a teapot. A teapot that turns me back into... No. Is that supposed to be boy Ranma? I can't even tell. Ugh! Also, the controls are a bit sticky. I was trying to, like... Yeah, it's like you're moving on a grid. I don't tend to like that a lot of the time. There are some cases where maybe it's alright. Other times, not so much. Yeah, I'm not sure what the goal is. Is it just to kill all the other characters? I don't know. I'm mystified. Yeah, if I press the A button, it does that. It punches the block. And if I press the B button, it kind of does the same thing. Or, no, do they just respawn? Because it seems like it. Oh. Okay, I just managed to fluke them into the wall somehow. Okay, so I think it's a case where I've got to collect items to beat the level, I think. Yeah, see, I thought I'd lost there, but no, apparently that beats the level. This game has stopped making sense right from the off. It's like, okay, I've got these boxes that I can open. So here we go, collect a hat. So, okay, so you have to collect various items in order to win. Yeah, it's like they tried to turn Pengo into more of a puzzle game, I guess. I'm not sure it quite works, though. Okay, what am I supposed to do with this? Oh, I see. Yeah, so it really is like if they tried to make Pengo into a puzzle game. There we go. So I think I kind of get it. Oh. Oh, no, that works. So I've collected a hat, and what appears to be a duck's face, or at least a beak. Okay, here we go. So I'll touch this girl and I win, I think? I don't know, I've never seen it. If someone knows the context of what's happening, I'd like to know. Because I know that there were a whole bunch of games based on this coming out around the time. Like, there was a really bad fighting game on the SNES. In fact, I think there were multiple ones. Like, there was that one, like, the really bad one that got rebranded as Street Combat, except Japan. Where you've got, like, two versions of the same character. And they're just the same character, except maybe with, like, one different move. And, what was it? Yeah, it's like where they have maybe one different move and a different suit. And it didn't really make sense in that context. But yeah, Street Combat, which I think was an Iron game, wasn't it? So here we go, collected the hand. I don't have to play rock, paper, scissors, do I? It's like I collect a rock, a paper, and scissors. So I don't want to play that. Okay, like, Alex Kidd has taught me that rock, paper, scissors is evil, and that it's a game that needs to be abolished. Here we go, give me the hat. I don't know what the hat does, but I want it. Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay. Okay, I see. I guess there were 3 rooms in this one. Okay, so what does changing into the different form actually do? Because other than changing the sprite, it doesn't really seem to do anything. Seems like they play exactly the same. I do not understand this game. So there we go, I collected what appears to be a duck, like a duck's face. Because if you look on the bottom of the screen, that's what it looks like. Oh, the boy form can push the blocks all the way. Yeah, of course the boy form would be stronger. Because, you know, stereotypes, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Do you get a bonus for being in the girl form? No idea. I guess it's situational, which one you want to be. I mean, this is definitely a better game than Street Combat. But that's also not really saying much, because Street Combat was terrible, so... Hold on. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so I understand that, like, water changes my form. I do get that, at least. I understand the context behind that. It's like, who even made this game? I'm sure I've got it written down somewhere, but I've forgotten. I mean, the music's alright. I'll give it that. Here we go. Yeah, pushing the... like, are these beehives? That's what they look like to me. It's like I'm just pushing beehives into these other characters. Oh. Ugh! No, I don't know what you're supposed to do there. It's like, half the time, the enemy just spawns near you, and there's not really a whole lot you can do, other than pray that they happen to move away from you. Oh, and it despawns your power-ups when you die. Great. Yeah, I like when games do that. He'd wide. And yes, I did just rip that off from Ashes. I don't care. Because, when have I ever been original? You can sod off. There we go. I don't know. How closely do you think that this sticks to the source material? Because I'm not the person to ask. Like, I know the basic synopsis. Beyond that, not a whole lot. I know there's a panda. So it's probably worth it for the panda, I don't know. It's like, oh, I'm an old man, but I turned into a panda for some reason. It's like, okay, so now I've got the duck's face, I've got the hand. So, like, what am I trying to make with all these things? And why do I have to keep collecting them every level? So it's like, okay, I've got those things, and now I've got to get... whatever this other thing is. Okay, I've got to get the hat. So, maybe I'm trying to dress up a duck on every level. But I need to practice hygiene. So I need to get the glove. And I need the hat to be able to dress up the duck with. Okay, now I also need to work my way back. So what's the bet in that if I die here, I'll lose all my power-ups and have to do the entire level again? Ooh. I think it's going to be a safe bet. Also, I don't know where the character is I'm supposed to touch to win. They don't seem to have spawned on this screen. Oh. Okay, where am I supposed to go? Because there's no... Okay, if I press start, it just pauses. Select doesn't do anything. A and B do the exact same thing, so... Yep, there's no map or anything like that to help out. Oh. Okay, I probably shouldn't have done that. There we go. So how many levels are there to this game? Because I noticed that the score has 9 digits. Which tells me there are probably a lot of levels, or maybe there are bonus levels where you score like a trillion points. Oh. No, I see. Hold on. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what this thing actually is. Because when it's zoomed out, it looks like a duck face. Like, is it a bow? Like, is this... Is it a trumpet? Or a tuba? I can't tell what that's supposed to be. It's like a pig's ear. Like, literally. So I don't know what the point of the points are. I'm not sure if there is one. I have my doubts about that. Also, there are no enemies in this part, which is fine by me, actually. I don't know. Is it a ribbon? Okay, so... Does the game explain what these power-ups actually do? Because I have not come across one. Unless it was in Japanese at the start. Also, I saw that old graphical glitch when the character spawned in, too. Yeah, here we go. You know, I do feel like being able to change gender at will would probably have its uses in life. I haven't figured out what those uses are, though. No. Yeah, the manual probably does explain it, but I also have my doubts. You know, it could well just go completely unexplained. Okay, so I get time. Okay, so that doesn't freeze time, it just gives me more time. So I guess it makes more sense. You know, we cannot freeze time. This is not a Bernard's Watch game. As much as I wish there was a Bernard's Watch game. A Bernard's Watch game would be cool. You know, you gotta do good deeds. Okay, I'm just gonna do that. Yeah, like, you could have a Bernard's Watch game. Like, just the ITV All-Star lineup. You know, a Bernard's Watch game. And, oh, hold on. I think I have to be in girl form to do this bit. No! I keep getting kettles. I don't want the kettles. I want the bucket of water, I guess. Here we go. Yeah, so I think if you're in boy form, you literally cannot do that. Or maybe you can from the other side, but... You know what? This does get points for this rendering of the panda, though. That is the best Game Boy panda I've ever seen. So I gotta give them credit for that. It's a very well rendered panda. And any game with a good rendering of panda gets a lot of points in my book for that. And the game itself is playable enough. I don't know. I'm not sure it quite has enough going on. But, okay, let's see if I can finish this level. So I don't know if there's anything beyond what we've seen already. Here we go. Yeah, if you ever played Panda Adventure, I think that was the panda they ripped off for that game. For the title screen, at least. Pretty sure it's the same one. It's a very distinctive panda. Okay, I can tell. I'm amused by the fact that his hair always pokes out one side. Just so you know it's Ranma and not just, you know, generic anime boy number 573. Okay. Actually, what does the game over screen look like? I'm kind of curious now. I like that it took a little while for the game to update the number of lives I had left. Oh, hold on. I think I know what I gotta do here. Mickey Mouse's Wars. Is that a thing? I heard this character would sod off. Okay. I've got blocks to match. Here we go. And I got hats to collect. And not wear the hats, just casually carry it around with me alongside with a duck. Was that a plot on the show? Did they ever have to just carry a duck around while constantly transforming between being a boy and a girl? Yeah. Naturally, the characters all made beelines for you because they're bastards. But anyway, yeah. Not sure there's much more to say about that one. Oh, well, it has continues at least. Okay, so what do the other stages have? Let's take a look at least... Oh. Oh no, I can select any stage I want. It's just a bit awkward to do so. Okay, let's see what this level has. The house level. Wait, do you have to beat like 10 levels in a row to like beat the level? In fact, it could well be more than that. I wouldn't put it past these Game Boy games. The thing about Game Boy games I've noticed is they tend to have like tons of levels. Sometimes more than they probably should have. So yeah, this is kind of the same thing, but with different objects to push. So I think I see what they're doing. It's just like they're making slight variations of the same puzzle. I guess it's to be expected. Like, there are so many of these action puzzle games on Game Boy. It's like, I think we've seen more of these than with any other type of game. Because, like, you look at all of these games and it's like... I mean, I can see what they're doing, but I get the feeling we've already seen much better action puzzle games in this series. Like, this is no Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle. It's definitely no Solomon's Club. Oh. Okay, we have a glitchy mess there. Oh, and apparently that wasn't the character I was supposed to touch. Well, you know what? I think we can say goodbye to that. Okay, so... what do you think this game belongs on the list? It's no Hyper Load Runner. I'm pretty confident in saying that. This is not on the level of that game. I would much rather play Hyper Load Runner. As far as like action puzzle games go, I mean, actually there are a few of these than I realised. I mean, yeah, I'd rather play Flappy Special. Alleyway is a better game. I had more fun with Alleyway. Also more fun with Kung Fu Master. Is it better than Street Rider? No, it's not. Like, Street Rider was also kind of slow, but I feel like it was a bit more active in the way that you had to think about doing the levels in that game, and I think that kind of makes it a bit superior. Flipple is also a better game. I think Solar Striker had a little bit more going on as well. It's better than Paperboy, though. I would play this over Paperboy, because that was just kind of a botched port. So, yeah, I'm going to put it between those two. Better than Paperboy, not quite as good as Solar Striker. Sounds good to me. So that's one game out of the way. Here we go. Next game, let's do it. Also, I have done this in the Game Boy Color colors. Oh, good. Here we go. Well, we may as well get this one out of the way. Sooner rather than later, I would say. Yeah. Well, at least I won't have to think about this one in a bit. Yes, minus Trump Boy. It's definitely not plus. Also, well, I will take a drink for you right now. Okay, let's, Rump Boy. That would have been better. I would rather play Rump Boy. Though, that would probably have a higher chance of getting the stream banned. Okay, let's, see what this is about. Yep, there it is. You know, it's really funny. I think the writing on the top right is Tramp Boy, which would actually be a far more interesting game as well. Yes, from Pac-Man Video. Interesting fact, by the way, did you notice that on the list, if we go back to the list for a bit, did you notice that Pac-Man Video also have, where is it? We got one or two other games on this list. Yeah, they made the Minesweeper port. Just wanted to point that out. just to waste your time before I have to go into playing this game. So there we go, game select. You got 3 games, so let's see what this is about. Yeah, like Trump is just like their equivalent of just playing cards. So that's all that means. It's just like, so if it has that in the title, it probably just means it's a card game. So this game, essentially, if you've ever played, well, if you've ever played World of Card Game on the NES, it's kind of like that. Oh, wait, what? Okay, so... Ah, here we go. 777! That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, let's see if I can win this. Yes. This game does feature the entertainer with a lack of entertainment. Well, I win! I win. I somehow obliterated the AI whilst not fully knowing what to do. Well, actually, I do know how this game works. If you don't know, so this is a card game called... I think it's called Big 2. Or at least it's known that in Chinese-speaking countries. Maybe in Japan it's got a different name. But, yeah, like, the idea is that all the cards have different values. So it goes from, like, 3, and then it goes up, and then it maxes out at 2. Like, 2 is, like, the highest card, which is a bit weird. But that's how it works. So I'll play a couple rounds of this. Oh. Okay, I'm probably not going to do so well on this one, considering that I've got a 3, a 4, and a 5. Wait, change... Oh, I see. Well, obviously I'm going to change the worst cards I have. Oh, and they gave me 2s. I thought 2 was like the high value, unless I've got it mixed up and it's maybe just like the 2 of clubs is high. I'm going to save the 10s, because why not? Wait, do I have to play the 2 of spades? Okay, that's weird that I can't just play the 2 of diamonds. So what is the JK card? I assume that's not JK from Jamiroquai, which would make this game more interesting, I think. Get the 5 out of the way. Oh, is this game called President? 'Cause I've played President on that 51 Worldwide Games collection. Yeah, I mean, I've played that before, and... I don't know. Oh, I win again. Wonderful. I don't know if the AI is just bad at this, or if I'm getting lucky. Yeah. You know, if this game had canned heat in it, it would instantly be the best game on this collection. Because that song makes everything better. Yeah, JK probably is Joker. I didn't realise this game had Jokers in it, though. Maybe the Chinese version doesn't actually have that, I don't know. So I've played a Mega Drive game based on this card game, but it was from Gantech, I think. But okay, I'll play one more round of this, and then I'll probably move on, I think. Yeah, they do seem to be giving me good cards. So maybe the AI in this just isn't very good. I kind of get that feeling from it. Or maybe they're trying to help you win, or maybe it gets more difficult later on. I don't know. Hard to say. I'll go for the 9, I guess. No, I don't think it's Jack, because Jack would just be, like, it would be J, and then, like, whatever suit it is. I know enough about these card games to know that. So I'll play a pair of 7s, why not? And then I have to pass. I am amused by the fact that they're like, okay, what should we do for the soundtrack? I don't know, we'll just use the entertainer, I guess. Also, this is apparently a game where you cannot lose. Okay, I will quit after this, because there is more to this game than just this. There are other games. Now we'll take a look at those in a bit. Yeah, apparently the AI is really bad at this. I mean, considering that there are 6 players and I keep winning, I get the feeling, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of getting lucky with the cards, to be fair. Like, if you look at this selection of cards I have. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. So I just have a very favourable selection of cards. So I feel like this game is rigged, but in my favour, which is unusual for But any game, really. Yeah, like, I can just do this. I mean, the music's alright, but it's also... I don't know. Yeah, it's like, okay, I can just do this and just win again. This game feels a little bit too easy. I remember the Gantech version of this being a lot more difficult, and I think it had less players as well. So I don't know. It's just, it's strange. Is there a way to quit out of this? I don't think there is. And I don't think this actually ends. Or if it does, I certainly don't have the patience to actually see it. Yeah, so here we go. There we go. Player 1 apparently really sucks at this game. Anyway. There is more to show. So, let's be fair to this game and keep playing. Though I do have to keep quitting out of the game to do that. Which is unfortunate. Let's try a different colour scheme just because. Yeah, let's try this one. Okay. So game number 2, I've got to be honest, I have no idea what this one actually is. So you've got these options, I don't know what they do, I'll just pick the one at the bottom. So, okay, you've got Ace, 7, 10 and 3. Yeah, if anyone wants to tell me what this game is, I'd love to know, because I haven't got a clue what's going on. So this one's got the William Tell Overture, I guess. Oh, I see. Okay, I think I understand. And the problem is now I'm kind of stuck because all I've got is an ace and a 3. Oh, I see. Wait, can I? No. Nope, no, it just forces me to wait. Okay, I understand how this works. Unfortunately, there's not really a whole lot I can do at this point. It's like, yep, we'll just force you to wait if you press the wrong button. Okay, Ace connects with King. I know that much. I've played these card games enough to know that. I call bollocks. Like, does this not cycle? His Speed Demon. Yeah, I don't think Michael Jackson had any involvement with this. So, yeah, so it won't let me go from King to Ace. Which seems incorrect to me. Oh, except if I press B and do it, it works. But not if I press A and the direction. I'm confused. Yeah, here we go. Okay, that time oh, wait, what is going on with the controls? I'm flummoxed. Yeah, it's like it's like the game just makes up its own rules as it goes along. The amazing bulk. See, look at this. Oh, the AI played the card a millisecond before you did, so we're going to force you to wait. Because we're bastards. And that time I pressed down, and it counts it as pressing left. I'm just going to blame that on the stick. Yep, those cards are useless. So thanks, game. I appreciate it. Yep, I guess we're in a state of stalemate, as the game won't actually do anything else at this point. Like, I mean, I can do this, and it'll just be like, yeah, I guess I can just sit here all day and wait for the game to start. I mean, I can stop. Not that really does anything. What was Amazing Bulk? Was that that Neil Breen film, or was that someone else? So, oh. Okay, I figured it out. Oh. I pressed the wrong button. Oops. Also, there's no timer. It just goes on forever until someone runs out of cards. Okay, that time I pressed the... Okay, so if it's on... If I'm putting it onto the right deck, I have to press A. Which just seems kind of needlessly more complicated than it should be. See, like that, it's like, I have to keep track of what... Like, you could at least put an A and a B next to the stacks, so I know to do that. Like that. It's like, why not just automatically... Why not just allow me to use either button and allow me to do it? Just... The controls in this are just... they're balls. So I feel about that. So it's basically... not sevens. So what's the game where you have to, like, put cards on? It's kind of like Uno, but shite. That's my description of this one. It's like Uno, but with all the fun taken out of it. So why wouldn't I just play Uno instead? It's like... it's a B-movie that tries to be the Hulk. Wait, am I playing against milk? Okay, so I'm down to 2 cards. Hooray! I won a game, I think. Yeah, so it's basically... well, it's not Uno, but it's... I can't remember what the original card game was called, but there is one similar to this. This is like that, but more irritating because of the way the controls work. Like, I can see how this might work, but it... yeah, it doesn't quite. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. It's about as much of that as I can take. But, I mean, I can see how that might work, but at the same time, it's like... the thing about card game video games is that usually I'd rather just get out an actual deck of cards and play the actual card game with, like, another person. I feel like playing it this way is probably not the way to do it. I don't know. I think the best card games in video game form would probably be, like, the Hoyle games, where they did a lot of card games. Those tend to be fun. So there we go. What is... like, what is free? I don't know. Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah. So this is... so this is literally a matching game. I don't know if you just have to match up the numbers. I don't know. Could not tell you. Yeah, so there we go. I've got 2 frees. Oh, that's right. You get to keep going if you get it right. Also, I do not remember where most of these cards have gone to. Yeah, there we go. Just pure luck on that one. Yeah, it's like, okay, let's not actually hire anyone to do music. Let's just do classical tunes. Why not? Oh god. Has anyone ever played, what was it, Fisher-Price I Can Remember? This is just that, but with more cards. And when you're ripping off Fisher-Price I Can Remember, you know you've done something wrong. Yeah, I'm going to treat this game with the reverence it deserves. And replace it with this. Because, no. we are not doing I Can Remember. It's like, no. Yeah, it's like classic concentration is the same thing, but it has more going on. Like, why wouldn't I just play that instead? I guess there wasn't a Game Boy version of that, but still. So yeah, Trump Boy. Where do you think this goes? I mean, it's 3 card games. You've got... I don't know. So you got a version of Big 2, which seems to have the worst AI ever. Because they just, like, intentionally give you really good cards. And then you just kind of destroy them with it. So that one seems a bit on the easy side. I don't know, maybe there's a way to make it more difficult, but I wouldn't know how to navigate the menus to do that, if that is true. And I'm not sure if the... no, because I don't think there were options. It was just kind of randomising who gets to go first, and that was it. So I don't think there is a way to do that. You've got the... I can't remember what it's called. The game where you're trying to put the cards on the stacks, and they're in numerical order and whatever. Which could be okay, but... the controls are just a pain in the arse, and that kind of ruins it a bit. And then you've got the card matching game, which is like, why? Why would you ever play a card matching game? I wouldn't play that in real life, let alone in video game form. The only time it's ever tolerable is in Classic Concentration. Because at least there's a wider goal to it than just matching up cards. And there aren't that many to match up anyway. You know, it's all about getting the puzzle behind the cards. So yeah, this one's gonna... It's gonna be pretty low. I'm not gonna lie, this is not going to be above Missile Command. It's worse than Heian-Kyo Alien. It's definitely worse than Dead Alien. It's also worse than Dragon Slayer 1 for all of its faults. Well, that being the fact that you can save. It's worse than Ranma. It's worse than Wizards and Warriors. Worse than Spider-Man. Is it worse than Game of Harmony? I mean... Yeah, because none of the games are really executed very well. It's like, one is too easy, one has bad controls, one of them is just an abortion. It's just, should not have... They shouldn't have even considered a matching game at all. Because it's like, why would you ever do that? It's like, okay, we need a third game on this collection. Let's just do a matching game and call it a day. So yeah, it's worse than Master Karateka. I want to say it's worse than Castellian. Castellian is at least graphically impressive. It's got that going for it. And Trump Boy just doesn't. You know, it's just cards and that's it. I mean, the sound is better than Palamedes. But I feel like the games are kind of designed just as bad, if not worse. Like, Palamedes at least have more to it. If you play Palamedes with the sound off, I would say it's better. But is it worse than Amida? That's a good question. It's definitely not worse than NFL. I would play it over that. Amida, I feel at least, was a more interesting bad game. The execution was poor, but I at least get what it was trying to do. Like, it was at least trying to do something cool, and it just didn't work. Trump Boy is content to just be a few mediocre card games, and it doesn't even do them well. So yeah, I'm gonna put it, yeah. So that is currently the third worst game we've played, but also the 72nd best game. So there we go, Trump Boy, third from bottom. It's not as bad as Tasmania Story, so, you know, it's got that going for it. So yeah, it is a new bottom 3 entry. But, there we go, that's that one out of the way. Hooray! Let's see if any of the other games we play tonight, or today, whatever, can match that level. Such as Mogura de Pon. Also, I don't know what's going on with the animation in the background. Like, it just fails to animate it. Something up with a sight. I don't know. But anyway, yes. Mogura de Pon. Let's go. Get the show on the road. Okay. So, Mogura de Pon. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, this has nothing to do with Puzzle de Pon. Was Puzzle... No, I'm thinking of Panel de Pon. So, Panel de Pon was the game that became Tetris Attack outside of Japan. And Puzzle de Pon, I don't remember what that is. So here we go, Mogura de Pon. Let's try it out. Nope, it works. Here we go. Well, it's a good sign already. Lice said by Edo. Dude, I love Edo. Edmund Doe, the creator of this game. Yep. Okay, I like this game already. Yes, the knockoff Kirby faces from Minesweeper make a return in Mogura de Pon. Is this Mole Mania? No, it's not. Yeah. So if you're wondering what Mogura de Pon is, it's literally whack-a-mole. That's all it is. Like, that's all there is to be said. It's like, someone was like, yeah, you know that electromechanical game where you whack the moles? Yeah, let's just bring it over to the Game Boy and just have you play it with a D-pad. In fact, if you've ever played Toad in the Hole, this is just that game. I suppose the presentation on this is a bit better, because, you know, it's not a nice code game, so that probably helps. But yeah, it's hard to describe this one. Oh, there we go, 62 points. Yeah, this is Rural Goblin if it was actually competently made. Let's put it that way. So I got 62, and I think I missed one. I have appeased the mole gods. Is that a mole version of Heihachi from Tekken? Oh. Wait, is that the whole game? Okay, here's a question. Does this game have multiple levels? Because surely... I mean, you wouldn't have to get a perfect score to go to level 2 if there is one. No. Okay, let's try this mode, see what this is about. Okay, what is this? Oh, is this the story mode? Yeah, here we go. Here is a Mole Hachi, I guess. Oh, Puzzle Pon was a Puzzle Bobble style game. Yeah, Mole Tekken would be cool. You know. Mole Jin. Mole Kujin. That would be a cool one. Okay, so this is story mode. So they put story mode into a whack-a-mole game. Okay, I like this already. Okay, so this one I need to get a certain quota to win. Well, it's 45 and I got 62 before, so I should be able to attain this goal, I think. Or maybe they're going to throw in ones that you're not supposed to hit, like giant blades of grass, like in that Nice Code game. Alright, what was that other game? Season Garden? Oh no. I mean, this one seems well made enough for what it is. I guess the issue with it is the fact that it's whack-a-mole played with Game Boy controls. Oh, did I win? I think? Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, if you're going to play whack-a-mole, you really need, like, those physical buttons to slap down, or, like, a giant hammer or something like that. Like, that's how you play whack-a-mole. Playing it with just a Game Boy, I don't think really has the same effect. Like, there was a Mogura de Pon game for the Famicom, where it came with a peripheral, where I think it came with, like, a tiny mallet, and, like, a power pad style mat, like a really small one, and you would, like, hit the buttons on that, and that's how it worked. And I think that was probably a much better way of going about this. But this game does have a penguin with a top hat, so it's a classic just on that basis. Also, they've got H's on them. Okay, I see. So half of them just disappear immediately. Feels like random chance which one you hit first, though. Unless maybe there's a graphical difference between them and I just haven't identified it yet. So they got different environments, I'll give it that. They do vary it up more than Nice Code ever did. Well, actually, I suppose, what was it, Season Garden, they actually did change the season at least. Like, they changed the background. So maybe this is the winter level from that. No, I ran out of time apparently. Great. Yeah, I mean, maybe if I set to easy mode, I could probably do it. But I don't know. Okay, let's go full concentration. So, wow, they give you a much higher target to hit on this level too. Well, it definitely brings the challenge in, I can give it that. Also, the controls are weird. It's like you have to point the D-pad in the direction you want to hit in. Or towards the hole. You know, I mean, they just give you more holes to make it more challenging, I guess. Oh, I did it! Okay. Penguin's Darwin. I have conquered the penguin. There we go. I think I've appeased Heihachi. Okay, let's see. So what is level 3 going to be? Do you think this one's going to be... I'm going to take a guess right now. I'm going to say it's Badgers. Because they really want to take it out on the Badgers for no good reason. Yep, I got the clutch playing there. Actually, it's funny. I was outside, and as I was walking to my car, I saw a fox running past, just in the car. Well, not in the car. I mean, that'd be awful. But no, running past the car. I meant to say. Oh, it's bears apparently, working our way up the food chain apparently. Okay, so is this level going to have ones that I'm not? Yeah. So it's like, wait. Am I supposed to hit these or not? Maybe they just... Yeah, maybe I'm not supposed to hit those, actually. Because I feel like if I leave those on screen... I don't know if it causes fewer bears to spawn, or if it makes it easier by having fewer holes to hit. Ugh! No, I'm messing up the controls now. Oops. I wonder if this is easier with the D-pad. I don't know. Okay, that was much easier than the last level. Because they didn't, like, immediately go back into the holes, like the penguins did. The penguins were a lot smarter, apparently. Okay, I think I figured out the strategy. Which is, try to just hit everything that moves. Or at least animates. Beyond the initial going out the hole. Oh no, I've got to fight the octopus! Where are we going to the... Wait, we're going to the sea? Just hit... Yep, here's just the beach. We're just going to hit octopuses in the head. And yes, the plural is octopuses, I did check. Pretty sure on that. So I've got to give them credit. They did try to vary this up a little bit. You know. Exactly how this differs from level 1, though, I'm not entirely sure. Other than the background. I guess you have a higher point total you got to hit. I do get the feeling this may be a bit easier with a D-pad, but I'm not certain on that. No, I'm going to run out of time. Okay. If only this was the first Funky Fighter. Was the first Funky Fighter... Okay, did you have, like, physical buttons that you pressed onto it? Because I've never seen that one in person. It's one I would like to play at some point. Yes, we are making the takoyaki. That's the whole goal of this game. We made bear stew, now we're going to make takoyaki. Wasn't that a card game as well, takoyaki, or am I thinking of something else? There was the Pig's Tail game. I remember that being a thing. Yeah, it's like Japan invented their own weird card games. But a lot of those seem to be based more on chance than anything else. You know what I would like to learn one day? Bridge. Because I have no idea how to play bridge. But it's one that seems to be pretty popular amongst a certain subset of people. Oh, I did it. Okay. Yeah, does anyone know how to play bridge? It's like, you got the little thing with the pegs in it, like the board. And then you got cards. And I think dice. Okay, let's try this next level, see what this is about. And this does also have a 2-player mode. I have no idea how that works. I'm guessing it's just, you have to hit more moles than the opponent, and then you win. Oh, okay, is this just level 1 again? Wait, hold on. Did they just take the mole and just draw a goatee on it? It's like, yeah, level 5, it's level 1, but except now they have facial hair. Even though I'm pretty sure moles don't usually have facial hair. Also, it looks like they're wearing turbans. Moles in Arabia. Maybe they're just cosplaying, I don't know. Oh! Ooh, okay. Monkey Mole Panic. I might have seen that, but I may have missed... Yeah, I might have missed that one, actually. Or maybe I just didn't have time to get around to playing it, because... Yeah, the whole thing about travelling up north, for me, or to different parts of the country in general... It's like, I have to make sure I can get the trains back before they stop running. And unfortunately, going back from the north, it's too early in the day for that. I don't know. How many levels are there to this? Yeah. Does that just say Popo on the top? Yeah, see, the penguins definitely proved to be the toughest challenge. Look at this. So, is it just repeating the same levels over and over? Because I'm not sure if there's any difference between this and the first penguin level. Maybe the point quotas are higher? I'm not sure. And considering I barely did it the first time, I kind of have my doubts I can do this. Nah, I don't think I'm making this one. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, I think I'll leave this one here. I don't think there's really a whole lot more to see with this one. Yeah, I was hoping to have a funny game over screen, but it is like said by Ido, so it does have that going for it. But where does Mogura de Pon go on this list? Well, it's a tough one. I wasn't expecting much from it, but I do have to give them some credit. They did try to flesh out the game a bit with that weird story mode thing. I'm not sure if there is an ending to it. If there is, it probably involves playing the same levels over and over again. But I will give them some credit. It's definitely better than Trump Boy. It's far better executed than that was. So it's got that going for it. Is it better than Daedalian Opus? Or Dead Alien, if you prefer? It's a tough question, actually. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be when I first saw that name and decided to ask. I'm going to say yes, because I think the two-player mode might make it a bit more interesting. But I think what holds it back is the controls. Not that the controls are bad, but more that the game was designed to be played in a more kinetic fashion. It's kind of like if you tried to do those like punching bag strength testing machines and just do it by like mashing the button, it just wouldn't have the same effect. And I think this has the same issue. Yeah, I mean, I would say it is a better game than Daedalian, or Dead Alien, if you prefer. I don't think it's better than Kung Fu Master, though. I think that one just has a bit more to it. It's like this game just doesn't have quite enough going on for what it is. Yeah, I'd say Kung Fu Master is a little bit better in that sense. Yeah, so you know what? Yeah, I think I hit the nail on the head right away. Mogura de Pon, better than Dead Alien, not quite as good as Kung Fu Master. It's not a bad game. It's about as good as you're probably going to get from a whack-a-mole game on Game Boy, just in concept. So I do have to give them some credit. Could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot more monotonous than it is. So yeah, give them some credit. Okay, here we go. Let's see what else we've got on here. Oh, here we go. So here's one that you may be familiar with. Yes, Ario and Yoshi, the classic. You might be familiar with this one. Because, yeah. It's one that seems to be... Well, it's not necessarily that well remembered nowadays, but... It's kind of notable in a couple of ways. Yes, Mario and Yoshi for the Game Boy. Fun fact, I actually did have this game back in the day. A game so notable it gets to have its own custom colour palette. As you can tell by the way the colours are more or less correct. Yes, it is time for Yoshi's Egg. Yes, so this went into several titles. You know, Yoshi, Egg, and then Mario and Yoshi, and then just Yoshi for the American version. So, yeah. So, if you're not familiar with this game, this is the game. I may have shown off the NES version on stream before, I can't remember. But, the idea is that you have to make eggs, but not in the sense of cooking them. This is not Cooking Mama, this is different. But yeah, this is the game. So, you get pairs of icons that come down, and you have to match them up to the same one. Eventually, you'll get, like, halves of an egg that show up. Eventually, we'll see the bottom half of an egg, but not yet, because the game has decided it's not going to bother doing that. Eventually, it will do it. Unfortunately, this game is very RNG heavy, so, I will say for the record that as a kid, I played this game a lot. Because I did own a copy of this back in the day. I don't have my copy of it anymore. Okay, here we go. So there's the bottom half of the egg. That's where the interesting bit comes in. I use that word under advisement. And, yeah. So here we go. So, you combine the two halves of the egg to make a Yoshi! And that's how you get the big points, I think. Or something like that. Also, you can match two bottom parts of an egg to, yeah, I don't know. To do something or other, maybe. Oh. Though, I think the most notable thing about this game nowadays is the fact that it was actually made by Game Freak, who would become quite well known on the Game Boy after this, making one of the biggest games for it. And we will get more into that game a bit later on in the stream, I feel. Okay, I'm waiting for the top part of an egg to appear. And the game is being a bastard and deciding it's not going to do that. Ah, here we go. Yeah, look at all them points I got. 200 points! That's where the mad points. Okay, I will be the Mario and Yoshi king. Maybe. Oh. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, they're made through the corpses of Goombas. Also, this is set to low speed. It's kind of funny, actually, playing this now. Because as a kid, I did like this game quite a bit. But I'm not sure it's one that necessarily holds up nowadays. It's... I don't know, like, you can play this on the Switch Online service. It has the NES version on there. And, it's kind of the same on both versions, I think. I think the NES version is maybe slightly better in terms of presentation, but when it comes down to it, it's more or less the same thing. There's not a whole lot to say. Also, yeah, so I should point out that the idea of these Mode B levels is that you have to match up... No, you actually have to clear the screen entirely. But it's more or less entirely RNG-based. You know, skill is not going to get you into the victory lane on this mode. You know, the only way you're going to do that is through, just luck. Yeah, this definitely has a distinct Pokemon sound to it. I would agree. Yeah, I'm just waiting for 2 eggshells to come up, but the game isn't doing that. Yeah, see, this is the problem. Half the time you just spent waiting for the right piece to show up in the game. And it never comes. It's one of those games. It just refuses. It's defiantly Pokemon music. Yes. It defies all of your expectations to be Pokemon music. I don't know. I've got to be honest, though. As popular as Pokemon is, I never liked it. Like, I never liked Pokemon. I can at least say I liked this game as a kid. Like, I actually got more enjoyment out of this than I did out of Pokemon. Which I guess shows just how strange my tastes have always been. You know, it's like... You know, did my strange taste come later, or have I always been that way? No, I've just always been like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's an odd one, because you play this game now, and you're like, well... Yeah. I would say you had to be there, but I get the feeling that maybe you had to be there and also be 5 years old or younger to really have gotten much out of this one back in the day. And because I happened to be one of those kids at the right age to do that, yeah, this kind of had that effect on me, I suppose. Unfortunately, the game's RNG has decided to be just downright evil. I mean, there is a slight Hattress feel to the gameplay, but definitely less refined than Hattress, if I'm being honest. You know, it's like they saw that and tried to do their own take on it, and it just ended up just not being as good. It's kind of funny, actually, because back in the day, like, Nintendo, it seemed, they were desperate to get their own version of Tetris, like, or not their own version of Tetris, but their own equivalent to Tetris. And they released so many puzzle games in the early 90s, and it's like they just never quite got that. It's like Dr. Mario, I guess, came the closest, because people liked Dr. Mario back in the day. You know, it was reasonably popular. But it wasn't on the level of Tetris. You know, I didn't play Dr. Mario much as a kid. I think I had the SNES version, but I mostly just remember Tetris. I don't really remember playing Dr. Mario from it. But there we go, that's level 1 cleared. But, yeah, I guess, I think a competent version of an underwhelming puzzle, that's kind of the best description I can find for this one. You know, it's competent, but there's not really much there, unfortunately. It's like, it's very undercooked, let's say. It's like they had an idea and they never quite got around to finishing it. You know, it's like Dr. Mario was pretty good. But then you have this. I'm trying to think what the other games were. Yoshi's Cookie, which was definitely, I would say not great, but it was a better game than this. It just had more going on. Yeah, it's like it was a bit more fleshed out, let's say. And it definitely holds up better nowadays. And then it's like, you play this game, and it's like, I mean, like, Wario's Woods, some people seem to like, but I don't know, it did nothing for me. I'm just like, okay, this is... Well, honestly, I found it to be about as interesting as this game. It's, like, there just wasn't much going on in the game at all. And it was kind of like, well, I could play this, or I could just play Tetris. Or Dr. Mario. But then it's like they had Tetris 2, which, I mean, calling that game a Tetris game, I feel, is false. Because it's like, there are elements of Tetris to it, but at the same time, it does not really feel like a Tetris game. It's like some weird Frankenstein mashup of Tetris and Dr. Mario that just isn't as good as either of them. You know, and then you have Tetris Attack, which is a good game that, again, is not a Tetris game. Again, calling it Tetris, I feel, is just kind of false advertising. You know, and I think in Japan that was the game that was known as Panel de Pon. And that is a good game, but it's not Tetris. You know, it's like if you took... It's like if you took Bubsy and just called it, you know, Super Mario's Greatest Adventures. It's like, well, it kind of isn't really the same thing at all. Granted, Panel de Pon is a lot better than Bubsy, but, you know, I think my point is made. Very smug-looking Goomba as well. I'm not sure if smug is the word. Maybe disgruntled. But this is it. Half the time you're just doing this and just praying that the game gives you the pieces needed to win, and most of the time it doesn't, because the RNG just decides to be a bastard. Yeah, you know what? I don't feel like playing this anymore. I think I'm done. I'm just going to hold the down button until the game ends. Yeah. I don't know. This game could hold my interest more as a 5-year-old. Like, if you're 5 years old, this can be a fun game. But going back to it in my 30s, I'm like, yeah, this just isn't... There's just not nearly enough to it to make it remotely interesting. Yeah, Tetris 2. I mean, if I want to play Tetris with Bloms? Not Blomby. But if I want to play Tetris with bombs, I'm going to play Tetris Blast. Because that was a far better game. And, oh, actually, hold on. I gotta organise something here. So, yeah. Mario and Yoshi, where does it go on this list? Ooh, yeah, Blomtris. I mean, I'd play that. I'd love to see a Blomtris game. I mean... Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not as good as Mogura de Pon. Mogura de Pon could hold my interest for longer. So it's worse than that. Is it worse than Solar Striker, which is currently the least good Nintendo game? See, Solar Striker was also a very monotonous game, but there was at least more happening in it, and there was more variation between the levels. Not much, which is the reason why it's this low on the list, but there was a little bit of variation. You know, they at least changed the backgrounds, which is something, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's not as good as Solar Striker. But would I rather play Tesserae? See, I gotta be honest, I think Tesserae is at least... It's a more challenging puzzle game. So the thing about Super Mario and Yoshi, or whatever you want to call it, there's like no thought put into actually playing it. It's kind of just a case of half the time you're just waiting for the thing to appear on the top of the board, and you're like, okay, now I'm going to process what the next move is going to be, but there's so little to do in the game, and that's kind of the problem with it. There's just not enough. Like, as a kid, I had a lot more fun with that than I had with Pokemon, because I just never liked Pokemon. But if I had to choose one of those to play nowadays, I'd probably go for Pokemon, because at least there's more to do in that game. It's not my type of game at all, but it is a better game. So yeah, I'd say Tesserae is a better game. Soccer Boy, I had a bit more fun with once I got used to it. Is it better than Snoop? No, it's not. Snoopy's Magic Show also had more variation. It's worse than Wizards and Warriors Chapter 10, Fortress of Fear. And I think Dead Heat Scramble had a bit more to it as well. And Penguin Land, I mean, as frustrating as that game is, it is more interesting. There is a bit more to it. Same with Amazing Spider-Man. It's frustrating and not very well made, but it's at least a more interesting game than this. There's more to it. Same for Game of Harmony, if I'm being honest. This game is actually a lot lower than I thought it would be. Yeah, I mean, like, Game of Harmony is tedious, but it's got a more interesting concept. It's got the whole thing going on with the physics. There aren't really any physics in Mario and Yoshi. It is better than Versus Battler, though. Versus Battler is a frustrating mess that just isn't worth the time of day. This is not a bottom 10 game. I would play this over Versus Battler. So, yeah, there we go. Congratulations to our new number 66, Mario and Yoshi, for the Game Boy. Sitting between Game of Harmony and Versus Battler. Not really a place you want to be sitting in, I don't think. But hey, it's a better puzzle game than Koro Dice. I'd play it over that. Okay, let's see what else we've got on here. So we've got 10 games. An unfortunate number for one such as you. Oh, here we go. Let's play a true classic. Yes, Seaman. Not the one on the Sega Dreamcast. It's a very different game. Yes, it is time to play some Pac-Man. Because... you know, it would be very strange if the Game Boy didn't have a version of Pac-Man on it. And especially seeing as we've already seen derivatives of Pac-Man, it's only fair that we cover the OG. So yes, Pac-Man, let's go. One of the classics. Okay, let's do this in inverted colours. There we go. Namcot presents... Yeah, there we go. Pac-Man. Let's do it. Yeah, Pac-Man, of course, one of the defining arcade greats of its era. Yeah, we've seen a lot of also-ran arcade games, you know, games like Lock and Chase and Hey Yankee Alien, where, you know, they're not necessarily among the upper echelons of arcade games. You cannot say that about Pac-Man. And yes, they made a version of this for Game Boy in 1990. Because, you know, when you're releasing a new system, you've got to have Pac-Man on it. It's essential. Though it is a bit strange that with this colour palette, Pac-Man is blue and the maze is yellow. Pretty sure it's supposed to be the other way around, but whatever. Yep, apparently all of the ghosts... Are they inky? I don't think there was a yellow ghost, was there? Yeah. Maybe they're supposed to be Clyde, and they just called... Oh. They just called a bit wrong. Oops. But yeah, so far... It seems like a... decent enough version. Oh. Okay, I didn't mean to collect that yet. Oh, I want to save the... Oh, sorry. I want to save the power pellet. Here we go. I need those points. Okay, and that one's just going to sod off. Okay. Let's at least see if we can get to the first cutscene. So I can do that. Seems very similar to the NES port, actually. Which is not a bad thing. I like the NES version. But the thing that these home versions of Pac-Man always suffer from is that they're always based on the original arcade version. Like, the thing about Pac-Man is a game that is best played with Pirate ROM hack. Okay, the control didn't take that time. I was pressing down, and this stupid D-pad wouldn't allow me to press down. Oh, okay, apparently you can make the screen smaller. Okay, you know what, let's just play it this way so I can at least see what's going on. Okay, you know what, I'm giving this one points for having a zoomed out mode. Because that may be part of the problem. Also, the ghosts seem more aggressive in this version. It's like they just immediately go straight after you. In the NES version, and I think even on the arcade, they give you a little bit of time before they start chasing after you. Looks a bit weird zoomed out. Okay, there's no way I'm getting that one before it turns back. Okay, I know better. Sounds are a bit weird in this version. The sounds feel a bit off. Okay, right, I'm gonna look a bit here. Like there, I got that on the exact frame. It's unfortunate the ghosts all have to be the same colour due to the limitations of the screen. Oh, it's also unfortunate that the ghosts are really aggressive in this one. Like, the AI doesn't seem quite right. It's like they're more aggressive than they are in other versions. Because I'm pretty sure they act differently in the arcade. And on the NES. I don't know. Can anyone verify if I'm correct? Because the AI feels off in this version. And like I say, the fact that it's based on the original arcade version and not the Turbo ROM hacks is unfortunate. Because the Turbo ROM hacks, to me, are definitive. And the fact that Namco refuses to acknowledge them, I think is to the game's detriment. You know, like, in fact, the best home version I've come across is actually a pirate ROM hack that I have on the Famicom. Yeah, you kind of have to lead them. Yeah, look at this. They all seem to take the exact same pattern as well. I swear the AI in this is not quite right. It feels different in a way that it really shouldn't be. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the sound is definitely inferior to, like, some of the console versions. I mean, granted, it's far better than, say, the Atari version, but I do want to see the cutscene. We need that cutscene. Okay, here we go. Gonna get those last few points. Score opportunity, I'm taking that. Yeah. So they follow you in the tunnels. I mean, they do that in the other versions, but maybe to a lesser extent. Yes, the Tengen version of Ms. Pac-Man is the ideal. The Namco conversions tend to be fine, but just not on the same level as what Tengen was doing with Ms. Pac-Man. I don't know what it is. They should have just hired Tengen to just do all the conversions, to be honest. Because Tengen knew what they were doing. And Namco kind of also knew what they were doing, but I don't know. I can't help but feel that a Tengen conversion of this would have been superior. Also, is that like a burger in the middle? That's what it looks like to me. Okay, now I just went straight through that ghost. Like, I get that it is a ghost, but I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to happen. Okay, so there are definitely some faults with this port that really don't apply to other versions of it. Because I don't remember that being a problem on the NES. Or on any of the other versions. I don't know, does that happen in the zoomed in mode? Oh. Ugh. Okay, I'm actually doing a lot better in this zoomed out mode, which I guess is not too surprising. Because being able to see what I'm doing, that does tend to help, I find. You know, that's one of the issues with the lock and chase port, actually. Well, I say port. Reimagining, let's say. The fact that it was just zoomed in the entire time. I don't know. This version seems fine for the most part, but, yeah, there are some definite faults going on. It's a strange one. It's a strange case. Here we go. It's very situated. See, I don't remember ever passing through a ghost in the arcade version. I just don't remember that being a thing. I've certainly never had it happen to me, at least. And I don't recall ever seeing it. I feel like that was, like, unintentional in any case. Like, you're not supposed to be able to do that. Yeah, see the way the ghosts behave, they... Most of the time, just seem to be making a beeline for me. Okay. Well, the controls are fine, otherwise. I'll give them that, the controls are solid. Can't fault those. Okay, I know the game is finally starting to get a little bit faster. It's one of the issues I have with Pac-Man. For me, it does start off a bit slow. It's like, I wish it just started out on the faster levels. Like on the Turbo ROM hacks. Well, I think that's what they do, anyway. Oop. Yeah, here we go. Raking in the points. See if I can get the other cutscene, though. At this point, probably not, because the ghosts are being bastards. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't just save state my way through to the cutscene, which would be convenient. Okay, at this point, it's all just about not dying. Okay, here we go. Let's get this cutscene. I'm getting that at least. Oh, apparently there were some dots on the. See, I hate this. Like, it should be illegal for them to like all go in the tunnel at the same time. Like, whoever programmed this version, you are not my friend. Okay. Okay, give me a continue system, Namco. Okay, Tengen could do that. I'm sure you can. Anyway, I don't think there's really anything more to that. So you know what? For not allowing me to see that cutscene, it's losing points. It is losing points for being an evil game. Where does it go on this list? Okay, so... Let's see. It's better than Kung Fu Master. It's a difficult one to rank, actually. I mean, this is definitely better than Heian-Kyo Alien, just because it's based on a far better arcade game that maybe took ideas from Heian-Kyo Alien and just did them far better. But is it as good as Lock and Chase? Because generally it's a well-made version of Pac-Man. Pac-Man is a classic, but there are better Pac-Man games out there that kind of took what Pac-Man did and improved on it. Lock and Chase was kind of a reimagining of the arcade game, and had some interesting ideas that maybe you just didn't get in the original, and more variation going on. I think it is a game well worth playing in its own right, and Pac-Man is a good game. But at the same time, there's not really much reason to go back and play the Game Boy version, especially when there's a Game Boy Color version, which is the exact same thing in colour. And there are just better handheld versions that came after that. I don't know, it was probably a lot better in 1990 when there wasn't so much in terms of options. But even back then, you had the Game Gear version, which I want to say was a better version. It was just a better conversion of the game. Yeah, I'd say Lock and Chase is better. Drop Zone is better. I think Tennis is better as well. And maybe Spot. And Quirk. But I would say it's better than Mr. Do. It feels more like the arcade game than Mr. Do's port does. Like, Mr. Do just doesn't capture the feel of the arcade game. Whereas Pac-Man kind of does. It's more successful in that sense. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to put this one above Mr. Do. It's a good port. But it's not outstanding. You know, again, if Tengen made this port, it may have been a lot better. But it's fine as it is. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing Dig Dug in this series. Partly because I don't have it. Also because it doesn't qualify for this series anyway. Which is unfortunate. Anyway, I'll spin the wheel. I'm going to have to take a quick break after that. But let's see what is next on the menu. And that game is... It is Ishido Japan version. You know, that classic. Or possibly Edo Japan version. Okay. So I'll be back in a minute. In the meantime, I'm just going to have to fill up my drink. And I'll be back in a couple of minutes from now. So don't go away. Welcome to Ishido Japan version. You know, that classic. Okay, let's do it. From ASCII. Oh, yes. Coughing already. It's not a good sign. Yes, Ishido. The Way of Stones. Hold on, let me fix the name here. So I forgot that was the full title. Oh, they actually have a credits roll. I wasn't aware of this. There we go. Ishido Japanese version, just in case you were wondering. Okay, I hadn't actually seen that credits scroll before. Okay, so let's actually start this out. I have no idea what these options mean. Yeah. I think this is tournament. And is that versus mode? I don't know. Something like that. Does this game have a versus mode? I don't know. But yeah. So if you're wondering what Ishido is, it is this game. The one where you have to place the blocks. And yeah, it's about it really. Not a whole lot more to say. It is a game that exists and you can play it. I don't know. I was never big into this one. I'm sure I've seen some people who do like this game, but yeah. So if you don't know how this game works, essentially how this game works is you've got like different shapes and different patterns on the shapes. And like all the shapes, like every adjacent shape needs to have either the right pattern or a matching shape. And that's kind of how this game works. I don't know. It's one of those games that's perfectly fine for what it is. But I don't know. It's one of those games that I'll like play once in a while and then not really do a whole lot. So see, you kind of build outwards. Like, I can do this. It's like, hooray! It matches the triangle and the circle with this thing. And it's like, oh, here's a square with a dot in it. And then here's a black triangle. Yeah, so, I think you see where this is going. Like, it's pretty simple stuff when you get down to it. You know, it is fine. Okay, top right is remaining? Oh, is that just... So I guess this whole heads-up display on the right-hand side, that's just how many tiles are remaining that I have to, like, place. Well, I get the feeling I'm probably going to run out of moves long before I ever get to that point. So, that's kind of a moot point for me. Because there's no way I'm actually going to get that far. So it's like, okay, at this point I need... So you've got the rectangle. So I think this one needs to be a rectangle, at least. I don't know. And this one can be a... So if I get a black square, I can place that here. And then the one that I place here has to either be black or a square. I think that's how this game works. Also, the music almost sounds like it's trying to be, What's that Castlevania song? Bloody Tears? It almost sounds like it's starting off trying to be that, and then it just kind of isn't. So this one needs to be either black or a square, doesn't it? Yeah, here we go, let's do that. Yeah, see, I can't place this one here, it just won't let me. Oh, hold on. No, that one's good. I don't know why it won't let me place that there when it's matching all these patterns. Maybe there's a rule to this game that I'm missing, and I've just forgotten how this game works. I don't know. There we go, that works. Also, this kind of looks like the Take That logo. Or maybe it's supposed to be this one, I forget which one it is. Rule up and fire. Sorry. What else? See, why can't I place this here? Okay, I forget the exact rule set for this. So these got arbitrary rules. And I don't remember how they work. I don't know. This is one of those games where it's like, it's fine for what it is, but I also wouldn't want to play it for more than, like, a session. Yeah, like, I'll play it once, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm done with this. It's that kind of game, for me. It's like, I can do that. But I can't do that. I don't think I can place anything there. So I guess the idea is you have to fill the whole playfield, which I've never done. And I don't think I'm ever going to be honest. I don't think I have that level of skill. But I can at least do that. There we go, here's the Take That logo. Never forget where you come from. Is that a good move? He just made the killer play! Yeah, see, I can do that. The vertical... Yeah, I mean, there is actually a version of this on the Mega Drive, of all systems. Because they did port this over to Mega Drive, and... I seem to recall it was fine, but it was also, like... It was a bit like Sokoban, where it's like, you know, it is a fine enough game for what it is, but you also play it and you're like, well, why would I want to play this on... Why would I want to play this on a Mega Drive? It just feels out of place. But they did release this game overseas on the Game Boy. you know, the Mega Drive version, I think, was a North American release. I don't know if it got released anywhere else. Oh, yeah, I just get the same one twice. Wonderful. Here we go, we've got diamond. Can I place the diamond anywhere? Yes. But then I got this diamond, which I can place right here. So I guess... No, I've got another 12 I need to place down. How many spaces are there on the board? Probably less than 12, but I'm too lazy to count them. Yeah, I don't think I can actually play this one. Oh no. Oh, hold on. I can. There we go. Problem solved. Hooray! I did a thing. I think this is about where the game's going to end, because, yeah, I was never good at this one. I don't know. I've seen people who've gotten into this game. I'm not really one of them. Okay, here I've got this triangle thing. Yeah, it's like what am I supposed to match here? Like, so what is the optimal way to play this? Can I only have 2 different kinds of shapes around these? I don't know. I'm not fully understanding of the concept. I mean, I kind of get it, but... See, like, I can do that. But I can't do that because this thing's here. You can't, like, rearrange them or anything like that. Oh, okay, I can actually do that, though. I wasn't expecting, actually. Okay, so if I place this... If I can place this one down, I win. Something tells me I probably can't. Oh, I did it! I beat a level of Ishido Japan version. I successed. Great sound, by the way. What's the sound? Ooh, not sure about this wind theme. Ishido victory theme, go! Anyway. Oh, you get the Stonehenge when you win. What does this have to do with Stonehenge? So yes, they made the henge out of Ishido. Yes, the Ishi has been done. Anyway, yes. See what my score is. And the score is that many points. Oh, I got 1,000 points. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's like it's the Japanese version, and you get Stonehenge. I think it would be like I don't know, Mount Fuji. So, is this just the same level again? I don't know. Anyway, I think there is more to this. But there's also a tournament mode. I don't know how... I don't know how tournament in this works. Oh, okay, that's just the hint system. I don't need that. Yes, the solitaire mode. Okay, how do I go back into the tournament mode? There doesn't seem to be a way to do that. Oh, here we go. It's like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna quit while I'm ahead. Okay, here we go. So if we go into tournament... And it's exactly the same! Wonderful. Yep, it's just... this mode again. Except now, No, it is the same. Yeah, challenge. I wonder what challenge mode is. Yeah. Anyway. I'm not sure there's really a whole lot more to see with this one. I mean, I'll see if the challenge mode is any different to this mode, but I'm going to guess probably not. There we go. I got 2 points! 2 whole points. I'm going to take that as a victory. Oh, wait, can I not do tournament? I can. Yeah, this looks exactly the same as the other modes. It's like, okay, welcome to challenge mode. Oh. Okay, am I playing against, like, an AI? What's going on? It's like, okay, I guess... Yeah. This is running on a timer. So there's just going to be a case where it's like, oh, you didn't play quickly enough, so the AI gets a free turn. Oh, no, I think you get infinite time. But, yeah, the AI just is going to get more points. Well, anyway, I think I'll leave that there. At least it has a versus computer mode. That is something. But anyway, Ishido. Where does this game go on the list? I mean, it's alright for what it is. It feels like the kind of game that really belongs on Game Boy rather than Mega Drive, in the same way that Sokoban does. So it's appropriate. But it's not necessarily something that's really all that interesting, necessarily. It's alright for what it is. It's better than Loops. It's not better than Dan Laser. Dan Laser is at least a more... It's weird enough to be interesting, whereas Ishido just kind of isn't. It's a pretty standard puzzle game. It's one of those games that's entirely okay at what it is, but what it is isn't really a whole lot. Like, I think I would rather play Kung Fu Master. Or Fellow. Yeah, it doesn't have the crazy mode. It's like... Ishido crazy mode, where you get like 1 second to place every piece down. Maybe that would make it interesting, but... I don't know. I feel like Mogura de Pon was a bit more exciting as well. You know, it had different... It had penguins, and it had bears. And octopuses. And I think I'd rather play Dead Alien as well, to be honest. Dead Alien... I feel would be able to hold my interest for longer. As would Pop-Up. Actually, I'm not sure. Pop-Up is not as well executed, I would say. But I feel like I'd be more willing to see what's further on in Pop-Up. Yeah, I'm going to say it is our new number 50. Ishido the Way of Stones from ASCII and Nextsoft. What did Nextsoft make it? That seems unlikely. Well, that's the information I've got from what I looked up online, anyway. But anyway. So that is Ishido. Let's see what else we've got. In fact, we've only got one 32K game left to cover. Or at least rank, anyway. Oh, here we go. Welcome to Lupin the Third. Let's see what this is about. Or, sorry, Pin the Third. It's my favourite. Ooh. I do love this theme. Yeah, here we go. Lupin Third. Let's do it. See what this is about. Here we go. From 1989. Though I think it's actually from 1990. SD. That SD logo is always a bad sign. Usually means like shitey, like robot crossover game that no one remembers. Okay, so you got like various, there's like villains from the films, aren't there? So you have Cagliostro. Yes, Pin the Third. Here we go. Welcome to Stage. So I do remember this game a little bit. So the idea is that you have to collect a key and then open a treasure chest or something like that. Oh, I forgot that's what that does. But I think it worked out in my favour. Yeah, so this game is a bit weird, like... So, it's like a platformer. Well, it's not a platformer, it's an action puzzle game. And again, there are so many of these games on Game Boy. This is possibly one of the more interesting ones. I don't recall seeing this anywhere else. Oh god, look at that scoring. That is just downright pinball scoring, that is. I think. Oh, where am I supposed to go? Fine, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm not sure it's necessarily the best one to do. But I'm gonna do it, and I will succeed. For I am Lupin the Third. I think that's how you pronounce it, because, I mean, you know, because, I mean, he's French, isn't he? Okay, I don't know what this does. Oh, I spawned, I can't remember his name, the bloke with the gun. Gunman. I know he has, like, an actual name, I just can't remember what it is. Jigoku? Is that his name? Can't remember. Like, there was him, and then there was, like, Goemon the Third, I think. Or, like, Goemon the Seventh, or whatever his name was, the dude with the sword. I must admit, I'm not too familiar with Lupin the Third. I'm no expert. I know that there was the game Cliffhanger for, well, for the arcades, where they basically used footage from a couple of the films, and that's what the game was. Yeah, Gunman's my favourite character. I haven't seen the films myself. I just know Cliffhanger, and I know the Famicom game a little bit. Yeah, Jigen, that was his name. But yeah, I seem to recall the Famicom game was okay, but I also haven't played it much. So I'm probably not the person to ask. Oh. Okay, apparently the arrow just sends you off in a random direction, I see. What does the star do? I do not know. So I think this is made by Oh. Okay, apparently the star platform collapses. I thought it would do something else. But, yeah, like, I don't know. I can't remember what I was going to say now. I was going to say something. There we go. Yeah, like the Famicom game, like, I'm trying to think of games that were based on this, and I cannot remember. Yeah, here we go. I'm just going to sit here and wait. There we go. And I will win with this collapsing platform, which will not stop me. So I can just do that. So this is weird. Like, you just transmogrify the level. Yeah, see the Famicom game. Well, you say Rolling Thunder. Yeah, Rolling Thunder was around in 87, wasn't it? Oh. Great. The thing is, so that arrow goes so ridiculously fast that by the time you've already moved onto it, it's like rotated like 2 or 3 times over. It's like your character just doesn't move fast enough. I don't know. I'm not sure about this one. It's like, I can see what they were doing. Though what this has to do with Lupin the Third, I haven't got a clue. It's just like, okay, we're just gonna make... Okay, we have a license, we need to make an action puzzle game. Because that apparently is what everyone was doing on Game Boy at the time. Like, every other Game Boy game was an action puzzle game. And I like action puzzle games, but, yeah, I've seen quite a lot of those in this series already. And this is not necessarily one of the best ones. I mean, it's alright. But I don't know. I mean, is this on the level of Crazy Castle? Like, Crazy Castle was maybe a little bit more derivative. But I want to say it was maybe a little bit better made. Like, it probably made a little bit more sense. So it's like, okay, so now we've got ice. Fine, I'll just do this then. Since I can't stand on the ice blocks, I'm just going to change the level. Because, why not? So what does this do? Does this kill me immediately? No, I don't know what that is. No, it just freezes the enemies, I think. And also me. Wonderful. So basically that That one is completely pointless, because it literally just... It's like, no, we're just going to make you sit here for like 10 seconds. Okay, so what am I supposed to do here? Because if I... Oh. I see. The safe was on the other side all along. That's good if I saw that in time. So, wait. Did Nova Games make Ranma 1/2? This does kind of have that feel to it. I know Nova Games did Battle City on Game Boy, and possibly the Famicom version as well. But they also did the Mega Drive version of Burning Force, which is quite good. Very good version of Burning Force. Yes, like, you have to do that well in advance, which doesn't feel great. I do like this man with the pink hair, though. I don't know, he looks like a character from a Godfrey Ho film. Yeah, I'm not sure about this level design. I mean, I guess I could do this. Also, like, where even is this? It's like, I'm just in a void with blocks. It's like, why is the environment so abstract? It just doesn't make sense to me. So they could have made it look like an office block, or like a castle or something. I guess that's the problem. The environment's just... They're entirely featureless. Yeah, and then you have stuff like this, where it's like the arrows rotate too quickly, and you can't move nearly fast enough to react to them properly. Like, there are some issues with how this game feels. It's like, they have something to this. I feel like maybe you could probably flesh this out and improve on it, but in this form, it doesn't feel great. It is kind of like the Ranma 1/2 game in that way, actually. It's like, I can see what they were doing, it just doesn't quite work. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I want to play any more of that. And I feel like the other levels are going to be pretty much the same. So we go, Helmet Man. Yeah, I guess what Nova Games were best at was just porting existing games rather than making anything original. Kind of like Toze in that sense. They were good at porting games. I don't know. Has anyone played this game for more than like 5 minutes? Again, I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about this game, except for Jeremy Parish, who did a video on this game, and I seem to recall he said it wasn't very good. And also, you know, it is a bit like Crazy Castle in the sense that you could just, like, slap any IP you want on this and just pass it off as whatever. Which is not great. You know, if you're going to make a licensed game, at least try to make it feel like the thing you're tying it in with. I don't think this necessarily succeeds. Oh, also, you can just casually walk off the platform when you don't want to. Also, yeah, some of these, like, effect blocks or whatever, they're not necessarily well marked. Like, okay, so the platforms that collapse just have a star on them. You think they could have, like, added some cracks into them or something, just to make it more visually clear that that's the case. Yeah, Kirby blocks. Yeah, if only these worked like the Kirby blocks. Be better, I think. So, okay, I guess I'm unlocking safes, but I mean, you could replace the safe with a block of cheese and the thing that changes the level with, like, a switch and just call it Tom and Jerry. It'd have the same effect. but it would not be best of the best. I don't think. There's not when you can't actually see where you're going. There we go. Now we've got the enemy camping on this section of the level I have to go to. Oh, no, I went the wrong one, so I died. Okay. Well, I think I'm just about done with that. I'm not sure if there's really much more to get from playing that one. I don't know. Kind of got what I expected out of that. Just, yeah, just kind of an underwhelming tie-in game that doesn't really have much to do with what it's based on. It's like, if you really want to play a Lupin the 3rd game, maybe just play... Yeah, I'd say maybe just play the Famicom game. Or better yet, Cliffhanger, where it has, like, the actual footage from the films. Yeah, I'd say just do that. This... I mean, is it better than the Ranma game? I mean, they're kind of on a similar level. It's hard to say. I mean, if I had to choose one of them... It's difficult. They're on just about the same level, I think. I feel like this one maybe is a little bit more interesting in terms of an actual puzzle. It's got a bit more going on there. If I had to play one of them, I'd probably go for this, but... I also would play Solar Striker above both of them, so... Yeah, I'm going to put this at the number 58 mark. So there we go. Congratulations, Bam Presto, on making 2 very underwhelming tie-in games that no one cares about. At least I'm pretty sure no one cares about it, because I've never seen anyone talk about them outside of, like, retrospectives on full console libraries. But there was a PS2 game? I wasn't aware of that. Also, we have the Orb Retro console. I wouldn't mind trying to see if I can get one of those at some point. Might be fun to stream, just to see what odd games they've gotten there. Preferably not being interrupted by arsehole bikers outside. But yes. Let's hope that these other games are an improvement. I guess we'll see. Oh, here we go. On the subject of weird licensed tie-ins, Kureyon Shin 6, or Rayon Shin 6, or E-Rayon Shin 6, whichever. Okay. Let's do it. Kureyon Shin 6. If you couldn't tell from the title, so this is Kureyon Shin-chan 6 for the Game Boy. So, let's see what this is like. Let's try it out. Yep, here we go. Kureyon Shin-chan. I think that's what that says. There's no 6, though, which is interesting. So, here we go. Oh, change the music. Yeah, I recognise this song, and I do not recognise it from Kureyon Shin-chan. Let's go for this one. So you got the block. Apparently you only have one. Yes, Kureyon Shin-chan 6, which apparently is known as just Kureyon Shin-chan. So, yeah, this is a bit of a strange one. So, yeah. So there was a whole series of Kureyon Shin-chan games on Game Boy. And... yeah, the thing about those games, from what I remember, they are all side-scrolling platformers, basically. And... yeah. This, as far as I can tell, is not official, like, remotely. This, as far as I can tell, has nothing to do with the official Kureyon Shin-chan games. It is a completely unrelated game. And... yeah, I'm not even sure what to say about this one. It's like they just made their own bizarre ROM hack. Like, I guess Kureyon Shin-chan was popular in parts of the world. Pretty sure English-speaking countries were not among them, though. Like, I never hear anyone talk about it. It's like, okay, what do I actually say about this? So yeah, unlike the other licensed tie-in games we've seen, this one is not official, like, at all. Just like some bizarre, like, bootleg ROM hack they made, and was like, yeah, we're just gonna make a bootleg and call it a day. Which is really funny, because, you know, also on this cartridge is a game called Mario 4, which is a ROM hack of Kureyon Shin-chan 4, which replaces all the theming with Mario. There we go, got a nice double there. I don't know, has anyone actually seen Kureyon Shin-chan? I just remember hearing they was meant to be like really crass or something like that. I think. Yeah, so we will eventually see the original Sanrio game, because I do have that on another cartridge. So I will show that off at some point. Just not today. I don't know, I've always been a bit confused by the existence of this ROM hack. Because, like, there are some ROM hacks that you find on multicarts where they're fan-made, and then you just got like just weird stuff like this where it was not. Oh, I got that double. Also, I have no idea how to progress beyond level 1. It's just matching of faces. You know, this is like Faces Triss or whatever that game was, except you're just mashing the full face rather than just half of them. Oh, I got the triple! And that means that I have mastered all Sanrio Carnival forever. Or rather, Kureyon Shin-chan Carnival. I just find it really weird that someone was like, okay, let's make a Kureyon Shin-chan bootleg. So you look at all the games on the Game Boy, I mean, there were at least 4 of them. I think 5, actually. You know, it's like, you look at those games and you go, you know, and you think, there's too many of them? And I guess whoever made this ROM hack was like, well, people like them, let's make some more of them. And so we ended up with this. Okay, that faces the wrong way. Okay, I need the left-facing face. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm gonna get myself the combo. Oh, yeah, so it's got like Clax style sort of level requirements to beat the level. Okay. I understand how this game works. So the first one I had to clear enough lines. This one I need to get enough score to win. Okay, I get it. So we go. Oh, I did it. Oh god, I need like 50,000 points? Did you need that many in the original? Yeah, I mean, unlicensed Game Boy hacks are common, but it's more that this is based on an IP that I wouldn't really expect that from. Though, to be fair, this is not the only one. There is also one on Famicom, where it was a ROM hack of... Oh, what was it? It was a ROM hack of, what was the baby platformer on Famicom Disk System? Biomiracle Bukute Upa, I think? Yeah, it's a ROM hack of that. And they kind of went, okay, let's make... They went, okay, let's make a ROM hack of that game. I don't know. Just something about it just feels very left field. Because again, usually when you get ROM hacks of games, it's, you know, oh, let's make it like Sonic. You know, where they'll just take Speedy Gonzales and just stick Sonic into the game. Oh, what's this? Oh! I feel like I'm going to need some big combos at this point, actually. Oh, maybe. Hold on, I got an idea. I don't think the game will let me do it that way. I don't know. What do you think about this one? The Kureyon Shin 6. Was there even a Kureyon Shin 5? Because there was one that had like collection in the title. But I don't know. I don't think... No, I think that one was its own game. Why they call it collection, I don't know. So yeah, apparently singles are not worth a whole lot. Okay, I got an idea. I'm gonna get 5. 5 in a row. Okay, let's do that. Okay, that didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. So I do notice that, like, gravity kicks in as soon as you make a match, and I guess you can use that to your advantage. Maybe. Okay, so I'm gonna get at least a double out of this. I'm gonna get all the doubles. Here we go. Here's where the big points come in. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, this one's fine. As a game of its own right, it is a perfectly... Yeah, it's a perfectly okay puzzler. Oh, it's about all I can say about it, really. It is entirely fine. Oh, here we go. We get all the matches now. Maybe. I'm amused by some of these faces, though. Chocobi. Wait, you mean the chocolate game? Like Kyoro-chan Land? I played that at the start of the stream. Not a whole lot to say about that one, though, since it is literally... Because it is literally just Castellian, but with a different sprite. I don't think they actually made any improvements to it. Even though the game certainly could have done with them. Also, I get the feeling I'm probably not going to beat this level. Especially because I'm kind of struggling to tell the difference between some of these pieces. Which is not really helping. Oh, yeah, I think we're done. We are definitely done. Yeah, there we go. Here's a question. So, is there any difference between the game modes? Okay, let's try this one. Oh yeah, I recognize the song. This was in, yeah, this is in the original Sanrio Carnival for the Famicom. Oh. Great, thanks for messing up my combo game. I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna try to go for like a massive combo and see how far it gets me. Preferably without like accidentally starting like, other matches that I don't want. Okay, so I need a specific face and the game is refusing to give it to me. Yep. So it messed up my combo because the RNG decided to... Like, because the RNG decided to bugger me. Wonderful. Okay. What was this mode? So what is the difference between these modes? See, this is the problem I've always had with this game, where it's like, okay, there's a bunch of modes... But I'm also like, okay, I don't know what the difference is between them. They all feel like exactly the same. So this one, the pieces just always stay suspended. Which is just kind of like the other modes, but just more irritating because of that. Oh, I placed that wrong. I placed that one in the wrong spot. I didn't want to do that. Also, yeah, I'm not putting a great deal of effort into this one. I will say for the record. Doesn't that when half the time you can't rotate the pieces? There's no T-spin. It doesn't even get vaguely close to the T-spin. Yeah, it's like there. It's like I thought they were the same piece, but they weren't. Waniyama-san. Okay. That's good to know. Yeah, I mean, Kureyon Shin-chan 6, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I've played the original Sanrio Carnival on the Famicom. It's one of those games that people say is good, but I play it and I'm just like, eh. I mean, I guess it's fine, but I wouldn't choose to play it. I'd rather just play Columns. And Columns wasn't a great game in its own right. I don't know. I mean, as far as that goes, yeah, I'd say Ishido kind of works a little bit better for what it is. Same for World Bowling. World Bowling is a more functional game, where this like kind of works, but it's also like it's not really the sort of game I'd necessarily want to play for more than 5 minutes. Dragon Slayer 1, I think, is more interesting to play. Same for Flipple. Flipple, I think, is a bit more fun. I would play it over Solar Striker, though, to be fair. I'd say Solar Striker is more monotonous, and it doesn't make me think. So yeah, made by Cytron Nod. Haven't got a clue who published this game. I can find no information about Kureyon Shin-chan 6, other than it's a ROM hack of Sanrio Carnival. So, make of that what you will. Just not sure what's going on there. Oh, here we go. Down, we'll be down to the last 5 in a bit. Oh, here we go. Here's a classic of ROM hacks. Yeah, on the subject of ROM hacks, let's play some Kachu Land. Okay, so this is going to be a fun one. Does this one actually have a custom color palette? I don't remember. Let's see. Here we go. Yep, here we go. Super Pika Land from PR Trans. Okay, so this I should point out, unlike the Kureyon Shin-chan game we just played, this is actually a fan-made hack, I think. I think PR Trans was like one of those teams who did like, they did like translations of Pokemon games. And I guess they also decided to make a ROM hack for Super Mario Land. So, yeah. Now, of course, I did play Super Mario Land in the previous part. And, yeah, as you can probably tell, this is the exact same game, except they changed a few of the graphics. I don't know if they ever made a later revision of this, where maybe they changed a bit more, but if there is, I haven't played it. But yeah, Super Mario Land, still classic. Super Pikachu real life. Yeah, also massive Clefairy as well. There's Clefairy, isn't it? That one. And then, I don't even know what these are supposed to be. They don't really look much like anything, to be honest. I think they just made those ones up. Okay, and I'm pretty sure Sphinxes were not in Pokemon. They certainly weren't in the first one, anyway. I think there may have been like a desert area. Go Mario. Did they really use a sample from Superman? I don't remember that. I do remember Super Mario Land quite well. Yeah, here we go. Let's just grab this, just because. Not that it actually does anything. It skips that quicker. That was totally intentional. Okay, so we destroyed the pigeon. I don't know. Were there pigeons in Pokemon? Of course not, because they had their own, like, Poundland knockoff of a pigeon, I assume. Yeah. So the colour scheme here is interesting. It's like dark cloud on the top. Like, what is that? That just looks like a big nose with eyes. Like, you just made that one up. Okay, you're not fooling me, game. Belt, leather belt, 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 belt. Oh, do. Level 18. Okay. Oh, I'm about to beat the level. I do kind of want to see what the boss looks like, though. I want to at least see the first boss. See if they change that. The thing about a lot of these Mario ROM hacks, at least on the NES, is that they tended to not change the boss. Oh yeah, they do use that. Forgot about that. It's been a while since I've listened to it, so... Okay, is there a Fire Flower, or whatever this version's equivalent is? Okay, so they have the unknowns, at least. I'm totally not pronouncing it like that just to annoy people. Okay, I might be. But, yeah, here we go. Here's where the Go Mario Go song comes in. Well, they also remixed it with the, is it the Chai Kingdom? Like, the fourth world. Which I think I did get to when I played Mario before. Okay. Actually, yeah, there was like a temple like this in Pokemon, wasn't there? I don't remember if it was in Gen 1 or maybe that was Gen 2. I cannot remember, but I'm sure there was something like this in one of the games. I can't go through there because I'm too big. Wait, oh, that's right, you break these bricks, I remember. Also, here we go. Versus the snake. My favourite. Yeah, so it's just using the Super Mario Land colour scheme. It's the exact same one. I think it's just because of, oh, okay, I don't know what that is. Yes, it's just what it defaults to. Nope, and it's still the Sphinx from the original. They didn't change that. Okay, let's see what the ending text... Is Daisy still in this one? I guess we'll find out. But yeah, we defeated just a random Sphinx. Makes much sense as the Pocket Monster bootleg on the Mega Drive. Like, who is this? Oh. Well, they changed that at least. I'll give them some credit. They did change the message. And still, like, is it a fake Pokemon trainer? What's going on? Oh. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Anyway. Yeah, Pikachu just beams out of a UFO. Why not? It makes most sense to the actual games. There's not a whole lot more to say about that, really. It's, well, I mean, it's Super Mario Land with Pikachu in it. It's alright, you know, as far as ROM hacks go. It's pointless ranking it, since I've already ranked Super Mario Land anyway, so, you know, what's the point in ranking the same game twice? So, instead, let's move on to the final 5 games. Okay. Oh. Yep, it is time for Engine Escape. Okay, that sounds like a very different game. Okay, Dungeon Escape. Let's see what this one's about. I don't know what this game is. I don't recall ever playing this, actually. 3D? Oh yeah, I'll bet this game is 3D. Let's see. Okay, let's see how 3D this game is. Ooh. Yeah, so this is definitely a homebrew game. Unfinished Dungeon Game by Anders Granlund. Yes, let's play the Unfinished Dungeon Game. Let's see what this is about. Is this going to be like a Amazing Maze? Like the DOS shareware game, you just get out of the maze and that's it. Yeah, I think that might be it. Well, I guess it's meant to be a dungeon crawler. If you look at the stats on the right, I assume that was the idea, but maybe they never got around to implementing that. Okay, so I'm heading west. Yeah, this is like the Windows 98 screensaver come to life. But actually, I suppose it was already alive. Yeah, this is about it, really. I mean, if it's called Dungeon Escape, there has to be an exit somewhere. I assume there's an edge to the maze. So I'm just going to go around the outer perimeter till I find an exit. Also, this is... Wait, can I go through the walls? Yes, I can. I can just straight up go through them. Yeah, look at this. I just keep heading north. Yeah, well, unfinished I think is right, as I've just escaped the maze, and I think I've effectively beaten the game. Okay, I am free to leave the dungeon with my life. Yeah, that's about it for that one. Okay, well, I guess we may as well move on to the next game. Pointless ranking it, because again, it's a homebrew game, and I'm just not ranking those, because I don't feel it's necessarily fair. Especially when it's kind of unfinished, like this is. But the final 4 games, we will rank. So let's see what we've got. Okay, here we go. Let's play some Kid Niki. See what this is about. Kid Niki on the Game Boy. You know, that classic arcade game that was also on the NES. And then they brought it over to Game Boy years later. Fairly early NES game as well. I think it's from... When did they make it? 1987, I think? Okay, let's just do the default palette for this one. Here we go. So you'll notice it's in Japanese, because... The thing about this game is, even though it says Kid Niki on the menu, this version was not released outside Japan. I did look. I thought they might have, but they did not. But this is very similar to the NES version, I think. But yeah, I've played the NES version of this a bit. I remember it not being great. Oh, also I forgot you can't attack up in this game. You can only attack forwards. Music's alright though. I do like that. Let's see if that horrific first boss from the NES game is in this one. Ooh. I wonder if they have the voice samples in it as well. Maybe not. Not sure if the Game Boy was really designed for that. I don't know. Did the Game Boy do voice samples? I can't think of any games it did. The NES had the DPCM channel. I don't think the Game Boy had that. But hey, at least it's something that's not a... Okay, at least we get to play something that isn't a action puzzle game. Also, yeah, so there were like 3 of these games, I think. I don't recall there being any others. But like, you know, there was the arcade game that they brought over to the NES. And then they made 2 Famicom exclusive sequels, which I seem to recall were not great. And they came out surprisingly late as well. Like, the second game was released in like 1991, I think, and it did not look like a 1991 game. It feels like a game that could have easily been released like 3 or 4 years earlier. And it would probably fit right in. And then you have the third game that somewhat infamously got reskinned as a Mario game by bootleggers. Oh, here we go. Hooray, I've got a projectile! Thank you, game. Pretty sure this does have bosses in it, too. But yeah, IREM. Made quite a few games on the old Game Boy. I don't know if these ever have enemies in them, but I'm taking the risk. Also, I maybe could have used a better colour scheme for this, but I was not thinking. Oh. Great. Oh great, now you have raccoons that just drop bombs. Or maybe they have monkeys that drop bombs. I wasn't actually paying that close attention. I definitely remember there being bosses in this. I do have this on an official 4-in-1. Alongside... What was that game? Oh. Let's try! Bonus game. So I forget what this was called on Game Boy. It was called something else. It was actually called Ganso Yanchamaru. I don't know what that means. I know Yanchamaru is the character that you play as. It's like, go Yanchamaru, like, something like that. Oh, and you lose your projectile when you beat the level. Oh, okay, that's supposed to be a shell. I thought there was something else. I think it's just the colour scheme that I'm using, because I'm using the default one. Ugh! Which isn't necessarily the best one. Okay, it's monkeys. Oh, I think I'm invincible. Hopefully. the levels in the NES version were longer. Though making them shorter is not necessarily a bad thing. One thing that does tend to bug me with some games is when they make the levels too long, and you just like, okay, I wish the level would just end sooner. In fact, I was actually playing Radiant Silvergun earlier today, and I don't know, I just wish the levels in that game were shorter. It's a good game, but I just feel like the levels are a bit too long for what I want out of it. Yep, here's the boss. Oh, it's a cat. I remember this from the original. Yeah, in the original he fought like a man with giant cheeks who like breathed on you, and apparently his breath was so bad that it killed you. Oh, I did it! I defeated the cat. And I got 10,000 points. Oh, I got a 2-er. Wonderful. Here we go. But yeah, it's kind of funny because I've never seen the NES version of this on a multi-cart. I mean, maybe some of the more recent ones have it, like the ones that literally have hundreds of NES games on them. But I don't recall ever seeing this on any of those. I've only ever seen the Game Boy version be pirated. And I suppose, you know, the third game got pirated a lot with the Mario ROM hack, but that's about it. And even then, I've never seen that under its original version. Just the weird Mario ROM hack they did. I think they did do one based on the second game as well. But that one you don't tend to see nearly as much. It's a lot more obscure. Probably because it wasn't made by Wario. Oh. I do want to say this is better than the NES game, for what it's worth. Oh, oops. But yeah, I seem to recall not really being a fan of the NES version. That one, I don't know. Something about it just didn't click with me for that one. But this one I've played more, and I feel like there's a reason for that, but I can't quite place it. Oh, oops. Oh no, I got away with it. I don't know how I did that, but I'll take it. I can't go with that. I don't know. It's a simple, like, action platformer, but, you know, it's a good one. Let's say that. It's one of the better ones that I've come across on these multi-carts. Oh, 2 up again! Hooray! You can't get any, other power-ups, though. Oh. Hey, you used to play this game at a Pizza Hut, so I'm assuming that's the... I'm assuming you're talking about the arcade version of this. Yeah, this one seems to be... I guess it's a bit like Solomon's Club, in the sense that it's definitely got a lot of similarities with the arcade and especially NES versions, but, you know, it's got different levels. It's kind of its own beast. I don't mind the changes. Like, it's got different levels and whatever. I'm like, you know what? Yes, it's fine. I'm down with this one. Ooh, is that a 1-up? I think it was. Raking in the 1-ups. And the bonus rooms. There is a slight Super Mario Land feel to these bonus areas. Maybe not exactly, but you know. Okay. Also, they give you a lot of time for these levels as well. Usually you just dig through all of these blocks that you don't necessarily need to. Whoa! Okay. Oh, no, you don't. Yeah, here we go. Yanchamaru will rule you all! Whatever his name is. Okay, I think the brick will protect me, hopefully. Oh. I'm gonna see what's in this block, because I... Oh. Oh no! Don't tell me I can't go on that. Okay, I guess I can't fit through that gap. Even though it looks like I really should be able to. Okay, let's not do that again. I got 8 lives anyway. Hold on. Okay, I think this is what you're supposed to do. Oh, and you just get like a coin. Maybe there's like a perfect bonus if you get all the coins or something? Has to be. Otherwise, why would you go through that effort to get all of them? So it's really easy to get the bonus level. Would you know that B button is the bonus level, or the B token? It's the opposite of the bees in Chubby Cherub. Rather than killing you, they give you a bonus. Yeah, there we go. Guess we'll see what boss we've got on this level. 100 fight! I know what that means. Okay, let's fight. Hey, okay. You know what, this makes a nice change of pace from something like Castlevania The Adventure. It's like, here, I actually got a decent weapon. Oh, apparently I fell through that bit of cloud. Okay, now I need to be careful. Oh. Maybe. Yeah. Okay, no, apparently I just fall through that. Did I fall through this one? Okay, that's weird. I do like the fact that I can just hit tornadoes out of the air. Wish it was that easy in real life. Yeah, tornado ripping through town. Yeah, just get some nunchucks and just hit them with that, and, you know, problem solved. Oh. Yeah, probably wanted this invulnerability for the boss. Take the coins, though. And then I'll probably pay for my hubris by dying on the boss over and over. This we'll see. Oh no, I got my invulnerability again! Hooray! Oh. Yeah, good thing that platform was there. Oh, and I lose the invulnerability at the boss. Yeah, I assume it's going to move down eventually. Yeah. It's like that boss out of Mario Land 2 a little bit. And puts back here with the tornado bit. Oh. Yeah, I'm just going to die on this bit over and over again, I'm sure. So, does that say WF on the tornado? What's going on there? Oh, and you also cannot pass through the platforms, even though it looks like you probably should be able to, but whatever. Yep. This is the life drain section of the game. It's like, you got to level 2 boss, now die over and over again. Maybe I'm just being rubbish. Yeah, probably the latter one. Oh. Yeah, that's definitely me being rubbish. Can't blame that on the game, that's just... Ooh. Could have done better, I think. It's alright. They give me my time back when I die anyway, so... Okay, is there a projectile? Okay, yes. Might give me a chance. Okay, so that's the strategy. Go the bottom route and you're fine. Oh. No, apparently you can't stand on that bit. That's the bit you can't stand on. Yeah. Where's Kid Niki when you need him? Yeah. You literally can't avoid going into that whole bit. Can't jump over it. Fine, I'll just wait for this thing to despawn. I'll try again. Yeah, I can see what they... See, look at that. I clearly hit it and it didn't count. Okay, you saw the... you saw the blade come out. And it was like, nope. You can't jump on the thing either. Yeah, this is where having the invulnerability would actually help. But yeah, you know, the best strategy is just to wait for them to move out of the way. Oh no, doesn't mean the platforms aren't synced up well. Also, it's a bit weird where it's like you have to be at a certain height to hit the blocks, otherwise it just passes through them. Okay, here we go. Let's at least get to the boss. Oh, and apparently my projectiles run out. Great. Yeah, I don't know what you're supposed to do there. Yeah, I prefer if these tornadoes would choose to sod off. Oh, that time the hit counted, but none of the other times. I don't know why I even went for it, to be honest, but I did. Oh, so you have a limited number of projectiles, but didn't actually notice that until now. Unfortunately, there's no way to actually keep them all for the boss, I don't think. Also, I'm pretty sure it's impossible to hit this boss when it's near the top of the screen. Oh, and apparently that leaves like a residue that takes like half a minute to go away. So it's just like, nope. Where does this put me back? Let me guess, 2-1, just to be a dip. It's like, yeah. Oh, no, it actually starts you at 2-3. Okay. Well, I'm probably gonna leave it there. Okay, so Ganso Yanchamaru. What do you think? It's no Super Mario Land. It's also no Super Pika Land. Yeah, it's not on the level of Super Mario Land, let's be honest. Is it better than Hyper Load Runner? I'm not sure. I don't know if it's better than Hyper Load Runner. It's better than Centipede, because the Centipede port is a bit dodgy. And I would take the Game Boy version of Kid Niki over the NES version. Which is not something I could say for Burai Fighter Deluxe, so it's better than that. I don't think it's better than Flappy Special, though. Flappy Special, I think there was more a gulf in quality between the ports. So I'm going to say... Yeah, I'm going to put it between those two. I'm like, you know what? It's better than Burai Fighter Deluxe, but not much better. It's alright. You know. Also, I'm going to have to take another quick break, but we're down to the last 3 games, so when I come back, we will play these final 3 games. And the next one to play is Zoids J1. So, when I come back, we will play some Zoids J1. Oops. Apologies. Okay, so I was talking about Zoids. So yeah, oh, and this is one of those games where you touch a wall and take damage for no reason. Wonderful. Oh yeah, I touched a blade of grass and took damage. Yeah, thanks game. I appreciate it. I can see that you're a very well-made game. Yeah, I'm sorry, if a Zoid is so badly built that it takes damage from touching a blade of grass, maybe you should go back to the drawing board and make one that doesn't suck. I'm just saying, okay? The Ride Fighter did not have this problem. But anyway, like I say, so it was like a toy line back in the 80s. Apparently it was quite popular in Japan. And yeah, it was, like, they had a whole bunch of games based on it. Like, they had several Famicom games, which were made by Micronics, and I never played them myself, but from what I understand, they're really bad. It's like some weird cross between, like, an RPG and Battlezone, but with, like, none of the good parts of either, I don't think. It's like they tried to combine those two things and it just didn't work. Probably because it was Micronics making it, and they just didn't know what they were doing. As is proven by pretty much every single game they ever made on the system. But, yeah, like, the sound in those games is particularly bad. The second game, I think, was actually soundtracked by, it was like a famous, like, Japanese music. Also, I did not touch that. I call bullshit. But yeah, it was done by, like, a famous Japanese musician. But you wouldn't know from actually playing the game. Like, the soundtrack is so awful as to be unlistenable. Because Micronics did such an awful job arranging the soundtrack, it just ends up being just unlistenable. Ichido-san. You know, the classic. Napalm. What is that? Is that like napalm but made out of parmesan? What's going on there? I don't think they translated that right, I gotta be honest. They just read that as J1. It's like how they came up with Ripto for the Spyro games. Also, I'm loving the animation. You know, how my character has one whole frame of animation. Yeah, you're napping on your arm. That's what it is. Oh, actually beat a level. There's no boss or anything. But yeah, the Zoids. So what is the real title for this? Because I think it's Zoids Densetsu, but it may be something else. I think there were multiple of them, and I couldn't tell you what the difference is. Wait, am I underwater now? What are the fish? It still looks like I'm above ground. So I don't know what's going on there. Oh, I got health. I did get the health. At least the walls aren't instant death, like they are in a lot of other games. I mean, Gradius, for instance. Oh, good, they give you like 2 frames to get out of the way. Wonderful. Oh, yeah, like I'm supposed to dodge that. Like, literally impossible. So yeah, we're just gonna give enemies just a regular, like, bullshit patterns. You can't do anything about it. Also, I should point out there's no rapid fire in this. Even though this was, like, the 90s, and rapid fire, I'm pretty sure, had become the standard by this point. Yeah, you just can't do it in this game. So, like, this feels like a game from, like, 1983. Or 85, maybe. But, not really after that. I don't know. There's something missing from this game. So yeah, they give you just barely enough time to get out of the way of that. Also yeah, I get the feeling that the hit detection here is a little bit questionable. Like sometimes I get hit, but it doesn't look like I was anywhere near the thing I got hit by. Okay, that time I got hit, but yeah. What was this doing? The weapons are lame too. It's just like, oh, you just have a bullet that goes forwards, like in every other shooter ever made. So they couldn't really do any variation with it. So yeah, you can get other projectiles if you don't get hit for like 5 minutes. I mean, this probably is better than the Famicom games for what it's worth, but... yeah, like, the fact that touching grass hurts you, yeah, that seems incorrect, especially when I'm playing as, like, a massive, like, fuck-off robot. God, like, I mean, people make fun of some of the robots that made in Robot Wars. They didn't die from touching a fucking blade of grass. Yeah, that's one thing they had going for them. Oh, and you can also pause as you're dying. Wonderful. I don't know. What do you think about this one? Yeah, you know, the fact that you can't just, like, mash the button to shoot is a massive knock against this game. Because no game should ever do that. You should always have a turbo fire option. Not including that is just a bullshit way to make the game harder. Yeah, it's about all I can stomach with that one. Yep, Zoids J1. It's about as good as I was expecting it to be. Yeah, I'm just going to go straight down here, because this is where it belongs. It's definitely worse than Solar Striker. Solar Striker is at least a well-made game, if not a particularly interesting one. This one just... there are certain things about it that just feel woefully behind the times. Like the fact that you can't just hold down the button to shoot. And also, like, it's one of those games where you just feel really underpowered in ways that you really shouldn't be. Which is kind of a problem. You know, it's just... no. Yeah, I mean... it's worse than Amazing Spider-Man. It's worse than Game of Harmony. I think it's worse than Mario and Yoshi. Is it worse than Versus Battler? Yeah, I mean, as far as, like, games about, like, robots go, this is about as bad as Versus Battler. But I'd say it's probably a little bit less irritating. I feel like you can at least do a bit more in this compared to Versus Battler. You can hit the enemies more consistently. And I think this makes it better than that game. Marginally. So there we go. Oh, another Nova game. What is with Nova games today? I don't know what it is. So they made one good game with Battle City. And then that was about it. Okay, so we're down to the last couple games. Yeah, here we go. Rubble Saver II. And the other one. Yeah, let's play some Rubble Saver II. Let's do it. Let's save some rubble. For the second time. Okay, here we go. Rubble Saver II. Let's go. Which is a really weird title for a game, I've got to be honest. Gotta save the rubble. From what? I don't know. There is a Rubble Saver 1, but I don't actually have that game. Also, you have a bunch of different stages. Let's do it. Rubble. What is this? I think I actually did play through this game once. And this is the game. Yeah, so you can like grab on platforms, you've got like a grappling hook. Oh. Can I grab that? Oh, I see. Yeah, look at that. I got the gun. Yeah, this is already better than the last game. I've got better guns. And it's got better sound effects too. I'm not sure about the music, but sound effects are pretty good. This feels like a very like 90s Game Boy platform. This feels like the quintessential one of those, in a sense. Got the feel like a Beam Software game. Just with the way the levels are designed. Enemy placement and all that. Oh. Okay, you can't attack with that thing though. I like that shoot sound though. It doesn't necessarily feel like a sound effect for a shot. Oh, and now I've got a flamethrower. I got the power! I got the maneuverability. Yeah, see, look at that. Now, what's really funny, by the way, so Rubble Saver... Oh, no, apparently I was supposed to jump on that thing. But I did not. So I missed the jump. Okay. I'm not sure about the leaps of faith. Also, that enemy looks like the Shin Megami Tensei thing. Whatever it is. That thing from that game I don't play. Cool. Yeah, I like this whole thing with the platform system. A bit like the Pac-Man game. Okay, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go up, but it went up. Oh. Ugh! Looks like I can just get out of hits anyway. I feel like you kind of need that for this. Yes, so it was released in Europe. Though oddly enough didn't get a release in America, even though I think the first game did. Because Rubble Saver 1, I think it was known as Adventures of Star Saver. Oh, I'll just shoot forwards. Oh, and there's also a run button, I didn't realise that. That might help! Okay, where do I go? Oh! Okay, there was ground there. So you can never quite tell with games like this half the time. And there's no way to look down, as far as I can tell. You can't even do it while paused. Unless there's a button combo I haven't figured out. Also, yeah, I don't think select does anything. Oh, I did it! I think. I think there are bosses in this, aren't there? Yeah, go up the elevator shaft to victory. Well, the boss. Oh, after the face or something. No, apparently that's it. Just do that and win. So as long as you can shoot diagonally, you can just do that. But yes. It's kind of a shame this never got an American release. I seem to recall this game being quite good, for what it's worth. But this whole... Oh! Oh! Didn't turn around quickly enough. Gotta go away with it. Yeah. See, look at that. It's salvaged. And then I got hit anyway, so... It was kind of pointless. Okay, I got a gun. I could do with health. Especially with these ball enemies. Pain in the ball. Yeah, I haven't played the first one, I gotta be honest. Because I just don't have the first game on anything. I've got this game, but I've never come across the first one on any cartridges. Which is unfortunate, because I imagine the first one is probably quite good as well. But it's kind of funny, actually. So I think this was... Well, this and the first game were kind of spiritual sequels to a game called Miracle Robot's Adventures in 2100, which was a Famicom game. And, well, on the subject of shitey Micronix games, that was one of them. Like, just almost unplayable. It's unfortunate, because it kind of had an interesting idea with the whole robot thing. And then they made the game pretty much unplayable by just making it just, well, really hard to control, and also just really bad level designs. The thing about Micronix, they like I say, Micronix just straight up did not know what they were doing. The people who made this game, it's like you play this and you kind of just wish that this team had been the one that had made that game instead. Oh. Also, yeah, it doesn't help when you press jump and it doesn't actually jump. You wonder, if it can fly, why doesn't it just do that all the time? I feel like it'd be a lot more convenient. But I guess that'll make the game too easy if they did that. I don't know where the power-ups are, I can't see any of them. So not being able to shoot down is kind of a problem in some of these areas. Because most of the enemies are near the ground. Okay, at least I got this back. Okay, let's see what boss 2 looks like. And the answer is... Oh, it's a... Oh, it's a Gradius boss, that's what it looks like. So the controls aren't quite as immediate as they could be in some cases. So I feel like the diagonal shot does not help on this boss. But I can just do that and win. There we go. Max wins, or whatever the character's called in this version. It's probably not Max. It's probably, you know, Mr. Johnson. You know, the legend among video game protagonists. Oh. There's a statue here. Here's just this random statue. There's an exit. Oh, let's see. What do I do on this bit? Oh, I have to kill the enemies, I see. And then it lets me go. Well, this is different. They change up the... Oh. Okay, apparently I can hit my head on this. So it's just pop the background. So I'm just trying not to die. And praying that there's a power up here somewhere. See, I feel like if you master when to use this grappling hook thing, you probably look cool doing it. Unfortunately, I do not look cool because I'm not cool. But I've got to rid the forest of all the pests. These robot pests, just like Sonic, all the enemies happen to be robots. Oh no, it's the last one. But I like the change-ups. Oh. I didn't like me messing up that like an idiot, though. Well, this lets me start from here. It's like, oh, you die on the room you're on? Okay, just continue from that. Oh, no. Actually, who made this? I think it was A-Wave, who didn't really do a whole lot. It's like, I think they made Astro Fang for the Famicom, which was... I don't know. It was kind of like they tried to make Road Blasters meets Rad Racer. Which sounds great. When you play it, and it's not quite as good as either of those. Well, it's a good thing there's no timer on this stage. We'll say, but in fact, there's something strangely European feeling about the sound effects, but the music feels very distinctly Japanese in terms of just how they're using the sound chip. That's my take on how this game sounds. You don't have to agree with it. Yeah, unfortunately, the instant AI gets off the projectile, I just get hit. Because I'm a fool, and I don't... The thing about me, I cannot defend at all. If I have to defend at any point, I will die. Especially in a sports game, I'm just like... Can I just be on offense all the time? I could probably do okay doing that. Okay, now we just got an R-type boss. Yeah, there's no way I'm doing that. There's no way I'm doing that without full health. Or just not... Oh, it makes me do this again. Great. Oh, no. So they couldn't just spawn me at the boss. I would have appreciated that. The fact that I have to kill the enemies doesn't help. Because, like, okay, you try to get the timing down on this. Like, I don't know what the timing is on the projectiles. It just feels... It's not random, but it's just, like... Not especially obvious. If you miss that shot, you're in trouble. Especially when I've got to do several of these rooms in a room on any given life. Okay, I think this is the problem, is this room. You can't actually see the enemies most of the time. They'll just spam shots and then win. Oh. No, apparently it leads its shots because it's a bastard. So yeah, this shot is not very good. If you miss, you have to wait like several seconds just to fire another shot, which makes it very inconvenient. That did it. Oh, here we go. The Ocean colony. Yeah, Ian's OC in space. But hey, I got 1942. It's a good sign. Maybe. I mean, there was a Game Boy Color version of 1942. There was not a monochrome version of it, though. It's kind of weird they made a Game Boy Color version of it. Oh. Yeah. Also, not being able to see where the pits are is kind of a problem in a game like this. When, like, the entire level is pits. You kind of need a way to know where the pits are. So when you can't see them, it kind of puts you at a huge disadvantage. It's one of the... Actually, that's the one thing I'll give for Miracle Rope Pit. As unplayable and terrible as it was, at least you could see where the pits were. It's the one thing it had going for it. Yeah, well, you're in just in time to see me die at Rubble Saver II, apparently. I don't know. I beat this game. Oh, great. It makes me redo from the whole beginning of the level. Thanks. Like, there isn't even a checkpoint for this one. It's like, yeah, you want a checkpoint in this level? Screw you. You're doing this level from the very beginning. Yeah. See, this is where having a larger resolution screen would kind of help. Because you really don't want... I feel like on a screen this small, you generally don't want to be doing levels that are just full of massive pits everywhere. That you kind of need, like... You need to be able to see the ground, basically. And if you can't do that, you're in trouble. Yeah, it's like... I mean, I appreciate that they got the jetpack thing, but really a better solution would be to just not have pits. Or, at least, allow you to press down to see where the pits are. That's what they did in, like, Sonic on Game Gear. It wasn't perfect, but it was definitely a solution, at least. Which this game kind of lacks. And yeah, I'm just kind of bum rushing this, I don't really care. Yeah, I mean, this game is alright. I don't know. As far as platformers go... Oh. Yeah, again, not being able to see where I'm going, kind of a problem. It's a bit like that pipe level from Shinobi 3. Except, of course, Shinobi 3 had a large enough screen to where you could see if you were about to fall into a pit or not. Which, again, I feel is kind of necessary for this. Well, better to get murdered by the boss, because I don't have any health. Let's give it a go. Okay, what is this thing? Oh. Nope, and you can't even jump on his head, because the game's a bastard. Yeah, this is a different 95 from one to the other one. Yeah, there's no way to, like, go back. It doesn't even spawn you at the boss, it forces you to redo all this again. It's like, you wanna start at the boss? No. Yeah, like that. Like, literally, you have to be, like, frame perfect to do that one. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's... I mean, it's far better than its inspiration, I would say. There are still some issues. This is a game that I think would work a lot better on console than it does on Game Boy. Unfortunately, there never was a console version of this, so... Yeah, it just doesn't quite work. But let's just see if, like, just spamming shots is enough to win. No, apparently it's got iframes. Yeah, apparently that's the strategy. Just spam shots and you win. That's it. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I'm not beating this, but... Oh, and now we've got to fight Slinkies. They look like Slinkies anyway. Oh, no. Oh, no, it does in one hit. I thought it was going to be like a damage sponge, but it was not. So there was at least that. Oh, wait, there's something up there. Oh, I want to see what that is. It is a gun. There isn't really a whole lot in terms of gun upgrades. Like, there are a couple, but it's a bit limited in that sense. Oh. No, apparently that was just that was a trap hole just designed to... Yeah, it's just like, okay, we're just going to put this hole here for no reason. They can try to shoot it and then find there's nothing there and you just die. Well, you know what? I'm just going to skip that, I don't care. Oh, great, and I get hit off screen. Wonderful. It's also one of those games where you can inexplicably pause as you're dying. You think they would have programmed it to not do that. Pretty sure that becomes standard by, like, 1992. When this game came out. Oh yeah, also there are no continues because... I guess they never got around to program that into the game. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Rubble Saver II on the Game Boy. I don't know. It's, as far as platformers go, it's no Super Mario Land. But it's also no Castlevania The Adventure. It's somewhere between those. It's better than Wizards of Warriors Chapter 10, or X, or whatever. But is it better than Gatsou Yachimaru? I feel like it's got more interesting ideas. But that maybe... I don't know. It kind of feels like a game that really belongs on a console rather than a Game Boy. Like, if there was a NES version of this, it would be a lot better, I think. Whereas Gansou Yachimaru is kind of a somewhat improved version of a NES game. This feels like a game that would have been improved by being on the NES. So I'd say it's probably not quite as good as that. It's better than Cheeky Cheeky Tengoku, though. And I would also say it's better than Burai Fighter Deluxe. Yeah, I'd say it goes right below Kid Niki, I would say. And so that brings us to the last game on the cartridge. This may be a quick one. This game is what I think it is. Okay, and that game is... where is it? Yes, Koiwa Kakehiki. You know, that classic. Let's see what this is. Yes, it is this game! Copyright 1991. To the year, apparently. The year 1991 made this game. Yeah, there's a lot of Rockman on this. Okay, you know what? I like this screen. This screen's cool. I always love when you get the visualizers. What's this mean? Button shift or key shift? Okay, that doesn't make sense. Okay, speed. Next. Target select. Okay. Okay, let's just go. See what this is about. So, I don't remember exactly how this one works. It's like... Oh. Okay, so that happened. But I don't know what that means. It's like... Yep, so that thing appeared on screen for like a brief second. But yeah, basically, so I am the white lines, and I'm playing against the black, or I guess the grey lines. Also, I have no idea what that does. So yeah, it's just like a weird sort of puzzle game thing. I don't know. I mean, yeah, this is the game. But yeah, Koiwa Kakehiki is a game that exists in some capacity. So. Yeah, so it's like, you get the matches. I don't know, I've never fully understood this one. Like, has anyone ever, like, because, I mean, I know how this game works, sort of, but it's also like, yeah, I don't know. It's like... Also, yeah, thanks for the flashing effect game, I appreciate it. See if I can beat our level of this. Yep, this is most definitely a game of some description. You cannot argue with that. Oh, okay, I think I did it. I beat a level. But I don't know what rest turn means. What does this game have to do with anything? I'm just like... Okay, it's the love triangle game. Or I guess, love quadrilateral in this case. Also, I have no idea what that does. It's like, what do the power-ups do? It's like, I guess they exist for some purpose, but I don't know what that purpose is. So yeah, I think this was done by Graphic Research, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand the concept of the game. It's just like... Yeah, this is a game that I've just never really cared to play for more than like 5 minutes. It's just like, I don't know. It's like, it is a game that exists. That's like my general attitude towards this game. Oh, okay, so I guess I changed the color scheme. Not the color scheme, the control scheme, but it doesn't make as much sense. I don't know, it kind of just feels like someone tried to make, like, a versus Rubik's Cube. I don't know. Yeah. It's like, what do those characters even do? It's like, oh, just... Yeah, opponent just gets like a free turn. Because we needed a way to vary up this game. And we didn't really know. We didn't know how, but it was like, we'll figure something out. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those games that's probably competent for what it is. But like, this is the kind of game that may work in like 2-player mode, but there isn't one. So it's also a case of just like, yeah. And if I play on like hard mode, level select, you probably need like... Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those games where I'm like... Yeah, you can take it or leave it. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm probably just about done with this one. There's not really a whole lot to say. I mean, like, what you see there is the whole game. And if there's more to it, I'm certainly not going to care enough to actually play to get to that point. So there we go. Kyoro Kakehiki, or whatever it's called. Do you think it's better than Bubble Ghost? It's the real question. Yeah, I'm going to say probably not. I think Bubble Ghost is the best soundtrack. You know, I'm also going to say, like, Asteroids is Asteroids. You know, Asteroids is a classic. Yeah, I mean, the soundtrack is okay, but it's no Bubble Ghost. It's also no Castlevania The Adventure, soundtrack-wise. You know, and yet Castlevania Adventure is down here anyway, so that doesn't make the game. The game makes the game. Alleyway is a better game. I can say that confidently. Othello is also a better game, because it doesn't have that flashing effect at the end of the game. Like, if you put a flashing effect in your game, that's just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna just give people seizures because I'm a bastard, and didn't know what to do for a graphic effect. You know, Othello doesn't have that, so it's the better game. Daedalian Opus, I don't... Did Daedalian Opus have that? Well, it's a better game anyway. I would get a lot more out of playing Daedalian Opus for an hour. Because at least in that, I feel like I'm making progress. Ishido is a better game as well. That's also a game where I feel like I get more out of playing it for a while. Same for Loops. I mean, Street Rider is a better game. Dragon Slayer 1 is a far more interesting game to sit down and play. Kureyon Shin 6 is a good contender for this, I think. Yeah, Tasmania Story is a bad game. Somehow got a release outside Japan, despite being based on a live-action Japanese film that apparently no one's ever heard of, outside of people who've played the game, I think. But yeah, I mean... No, I'd say it's worse than Kureyon Shin 6. That one had more modes, or at least more variation with the modes. Solar Striker was better. Is it better than SD Lupin? Or Lupin, whatever. No, it's not. Is it better than the Ranma game? No. Ranma had a bit more variation with the levels. Whereas Kyoro Kakehiki is basically the exact same thing every level. And there's not a whole lot to say about it. So I'm gonna say it's worse than that. It's worse than Tesserae. Because Tesserae, again, I would rather sit down and try to beat all the levels of that game than to play Kyoro Kakehiki for, like, another second. Soccer Boy is more fun to play. Snoopy's Magic Show is more interesting. As is Wizards and Warriors. Yeah. Dead Heat Scramble is better. Penguin Land is better. Amazing Spider-Man. I mean, Mario and Yoshi, I would say, is a better game. As basic as that game is, as much as it needed more going on to make it interesting, I would have more fun playing that game. I think Zoids might be more interesting as well. Versus Battler, I think that's the limit. Versus Battler is more annoying. Like, I don't know. Like, Versus Battler kind of has a similar feeling to it. But at least Kyoro Kakehiki is more of a little bit more cerebral. Versus Battler is just like, try to hit an enemy and pray that it hits them before they teleport away from you. This at least doesn't have that. So I would say it's better than that game on that basis. And so it avoids... Yeah, it avoids the bottom 10, just about. It's not quite bottom 10 material, but it's close. Kind of funny, actually. I think we got 3 new number 11s on the stream. But, there you go. But we did get a new entry into the bottom 10 with Trump Boy. Sounds pretty good to me. But, hopefully I'll be back next week with more multi-cart games, because there are more multi-carts left to cover, which feature different games that we have not seen yet, because we've only got 84 games on this list, and I won't be satisfied until we get more than 1,000. Okay, maybe not 1,000, but certainly at least 100. Once we get to at least 100 games on this list, I'll be happy. So, hopefully I'll be back next week with some more multi-carts. I may have to start using multiple ones for these streams. Because they won't have as many games to cover, I don't think. But yeah, hopefully there'll be better selections of games than what we had today. I mean, were there any good games today? I mean, Pac-Man was like the best game out of all of them, and even then it was not a great port. So, yeah, not a great selection, but hopefully there will be better games to come. So until then, I hope to see you later, people. See you.